Welcome to Good Friends, Good Games. It is July 16th, 2022. It is 12:23 p.m. on the West Coast, and it's 3:23 p.m. on the East Coast. Let me go ahead and get us on the screen here. Boom. Guys, welcome. So, before we get started here, we have our new member of the family joining us today.
What's up?
Stop. Dill, welcome. We are glad to have you here.
Finally.
Finally, right. So Dill has been in the works for a minute, and we are glad to finally have him here. So, we'll get some administrative stuff out of the way here first. Obviously, it's me and Dill holding down the fort today. Leshki is out sick, and Hannah is currently on a leave, and Zenith has the day off. So, it's me and Dill holding down the fort. Dude, before we get started with your story here, the sickness has ravaged through the good people family here. Hannah was sick. Now Leshki's sick. I'm fighting allergies.
Hang on, what's the wood?
Knock on wood.
Knocking.
Wrap yourself in a bubble.
Technically, I do have an ear problem right now, but it's something that I can easily deal with.
Like, easily deal with, like, what, an air purifier?
I don't know what's wrong with it. It just everything sounds a bit more muffled in that ear, and I'm taking drops for it at the moment. Yeah. So I can only hear properly out of one ear.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
It's okay, because I've only been really properly able to hear out of one ear, and like I've been like that for the past 20 years.
Jesus.
My right ear is pretty shot. Like I can hear out of it, but it's pretty shot from like all of the guitar playing and loud concerts and all that stuff over the course of the years. And like
someone was too close to the speaker, weren't you?
I was too close to the speaker, and then when I used to play in bands and stuff, my amp would always be on my right side.
Right.
So like it was constantly blaring in the right ear, and me being young and dumb and wanting to look cool, I didn't wear earplugs. So for those first 10 years, so like the damage was already done. I can still hear out of it, but like in the middle of the night, I'll get random just ringing. Like it'll just start.
Oh yeah.
They ring 24/7.
I have the ringing like constantly right now.
Yeah, my ears ring 24/7, and they've been for the past 20 years, and like 20, 25 years, they've been ringing 24/7, and you get used to it. Like you learn how to fall asleep and you learn how to tune it out. But like out of nowhere, I'll just be working and my ears will just be like, and then they settle. Yeah, it's wild. And then, so there's that whole thing. And then like, I'm starting to notice it now that I'm getting like older and just the actual natural progression of age. You know how like you start not seeing as well and all that kind of stuff? Like the actual natural. Yeah, the actual natural stuff starts kicking in, and like I'll notice like I was at dinner with Pao and her mom, and like I'm having to kind of like lean in more so I can pay attention in the restaurant, which I've always kind of had to do before, but it's like I'm noticing I'm starting to have to get closer. Now that's dependent on the person too. Like some people are just naturally loud enough, but she was quiet spoken, so I'm like listening. And then you learn how to like do that kind of stuff. You learn how to like focus when somebody's talking and all that when your ears are kind of shot. You just kind of learn how to like adapt, but that's wild. But yeah, the sickness has ravaged through the family.
Yep.
So Carla, our Good People Media Group mod is here. Welcome, Carla. Good to see you.
Karka.
Oh yeah, we used to call her Karka.
Karka. She used to be called Karka, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. Carla, welcome back. We're good to see you. Carla holds down the fort in the chat, along with some other peeps that hang out with us here. If you are listening to us on Apple, Spotify, all those podcast platforms, we appreciate you. If you're watching us on Twitch right now, we appreciate you very much. You can also catch this on YouTube shortly after we air it. And we're all glad to have you spend your time with us. We appreciate it very much. So, Dill, you are the newest member of the family. I want to officially welcome you.
Thanks.
You will. Dill will be on the pods when he can, and then he will, work on some content stuff with us. We were working on an idea to rate people's gamers battle stations.
Oh, we already got a first idea plan, mate. We already got it.
I think we're gonna rate some gamer battle stations out there. We'll have an email up that you can send your battle station to. We
Send
also
it to Eric the Nerd at ratemybattlestations.net.
ratemybattlestations.net. So yeah, we'll have an email address up for that. We also thought about rating forts, like box
Oh
forts.
yes,
We
I
thought
will
about doing
definitely
that.
make a fort at this. I
Yeah.
will definitely make a box.
We'll rate
fort.
our forts and all that kind of stuff. So we have some ideas in the work. We're talking about doing some Ninja Turtle content, me and Dill right now, since Dill's got the game on Game Pass. So we got some ideas down the pipe. So that's the plans for Dill. So Dill, let's go ahead and let's get you acclimated to the people here. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
What's the tell, really? I am a 26-year-old UK resident who plays video games, likes Pokemon, likes Soulsborne games. I basically have been doing content creation for about, I want to say 7 years?
About 7 years. You started when
About
I did.
7 years? Yeah, because I was like, got inspired by like YouTubers and stuff like that to just start making content on there, moved to Twitch, and 7 years later, here I am, just still making content, still streaming whenever I can, and then just, doing whatever needs must.
So when we started, like, the idea with the show is like, because like Hannah and Leshki and them, they're kind of like at that point in the whole thing now where they're starting to slow down and they want to do something just a little more relaxed and a little more chill, which is kind of like why they signed on board for this kind of thing. And Zenith and you are the two that are still like hammering it out there. Like you're just going full bore. Do you ever feel like you're ready to slow down?
I mean, technically, I'm pacing myself with YouTube more than I used to. Like, I know it was at one point with YouTube, I was uploading like at least every other day, like twice, once every 2 days. I was uploading at one point. Now I've slowed it down to maybe like once a week, once every every 2 weeks at least with YouTube. I've slowed down there. Basically,
but you still do the Twitch streaming like full bore.
Yeah, Twitch streaming is that's about 3 or 4 days a week now with like my current schedule. But I think when my work closes for a few weeks in September, I'll probably do some more then.
Oh, they're closing your week for a few, or they're closing your pub for a few weeks?
They're planning a refurb of my work, so I'll have about like 3 to 4 weeks off.
Nice. They're gonna redo the bathrooms and all that kind of stuff. Right?
Bathrooms, pub, interior of the pub, fill up in the beer garden at the front, the works.
Don't worry, they're gonna change the name of it, and they're gonna start throwing vegan options on the menu. And
there's already vegan options on there.
Your neighborhood's getting gentrified. I can tell you that right now.
Yeah.
It's when the Whole Foods shows up. I don't know if they have Whole Foods in America, in UK.
We don't have Whole Foods. We probably have an equivalent to Whole Foods, but I don't know what it is because I don't go to those places.
We're like some bougie, grocery store where everything's $4 more.
Yeah.
But no, we're glad to have you. I also like you because you will become the resident Pokemon expert, since that is like 90% of your content.
90% of my knowledge as well. Like my brain is just basically Pokemon, isn't it?
You're gonna turn into a Pokemon.
Look right there.
Look at that. There's a Pikachu peeking his head, and then there's
Pikachu peeking.
What's the bee one? I forget the one.
The bean one.
No, the bee, like a bee. There's one that looks like a bee. No.
No.
I thought there was one that looks like a bee. Not in your room, but like in Pokemon in general.
You mean Vespiquen?
Maybe. I only know the Charmander, the Squirtle, Pikachu, and then my favorite one is Eevee because it's the most adorable looking puppy thing ever.
Eevee is adorable, and Umbreon for the win, always.
And the Blastoise, because that looks like the turtle that launches cannons. So there's that one.
The one that a Squirtle evolves into, Blastoise.
Oh, okay. So yeah, it's Squirtle that turns into... Oh, there is Whole Foods. Someone in the chat here just mentioned there is Whole Foods in the UK. So when that opens up next to your pub, you're in trouble.
I don't think I haven't seen it in my nearest town. I'll have to have a look around, honestly, next time.
You're like in the outskirts, like you're in like a suburb too, though, right?
I'm about a short drive, like 2 miles out from the nearest town center.
Yeah. So you're in the You're in the
But I have
suburbs.
fiber optic internet now, so I don't mind.
I'm so jealous. I'm just gonna fly over to the UK, use your fiber optic connection to
You
load
absolutely
everything.
should. Like, the maximum that I've seen my internet go to download-wise is over a gig.
What? I wish.
Like, it's so good. I downloaded Mass Effect Legendary Edition one evening. Guess how long it took to download the whole thing? And it's 110 gig.
2 minutes? 3 minutes?
Bit more.
Bit more? About. It was under 5.
No.
No?
It's about 15 minutes because
15 minutes.
it's
Oh,
a
the
gig
whole 100
per
gigs.
minute. Yeah,
okay, so the whole 100
thing.
gig. Okay, yeah.
The whole thing was about 15 minutes. It was about
Yeah.
110, 115 gig game.
I just heard Mass Effect and I was like, oh, the first game? That's like 4 gigs.
The
so
whole package.
yeah, the whole package. Did you get it for
The
free?
whole package. Yeah, I got it on the Game Pass.
Oh, okay.
But I also
because,
downloaded the free. You
Yeah.
can get it on the Game Pass with EA connected, technically. But I also redeemed the free one from Twitch Prime because so I have 2 versions technically.
just in case you cancel your Game Pass for whatever.
Just in case I cancel it. Which I got my Game Pass with my internet package for free for a year.
What?
Yeah, they threw it in for free. Just
Do they
like,
give you the
"Here go, have
PC
a-"
one and the console one?
Yeah,
Oh, so it's the
Ultimate one.
Oh,
it's the ultimate
wow.
one. And if I wanted to keep it, it would only cost me an extra £10 a month on my current plan for my internet.
That's cheaper than the cards.
That's cheaper than the card. That's like £2 cheaper over here.
Oh, that's not a bad deal. They might do it. Like they do that. All my internet provider offered me was like, hey, you'll have internet. Pay us and you'll have internet.
That's
There you
what I
go.
would thought too, but I ended up
Yeah.
actually getting a quite really sweet deal.
Although on my cell phone, I do get that HBO Max thing, so I watch Batman. I watch Batman and
Wait, which Batman? Like the animated series?
bro, we watch all of them. We go
All
on that
of
whole
them.
Batman. We go on the
Have
whole
you
Batman thing.
seen the newest movie?
Oh, I loved it. We went on opening night.
I've not watched it.
It's so good. If you haven't watched it
to.
yet,
Yeah.
Hannah went and watched it and she loved it and she really liked it. So what I told her to do was check out Batman Year One, which is the comic that it's based off of, kind of.
Well, isn't it year 2? I think you
The
said,
movie
isn't
is
it?
year 2, yeah. The
Year
movie's year
2.
2, and then Batman Year 1 tells his first year,
Yeah.
fighting crime in Gotham. And it's very dark, detective, noir. It's not your typical Batman, like, type stuff. It's very dark noir.
It's not like the 60s TV show.
Oh God, nothing. That's actually like the Batman TV show, that weird 60s campy one, is what kind of led to the resurgence because all these comic writers and stuff started writing darker Batman. And then Tim Burton came and did 89 and, changed Batman and made it darker and grittier like it was originally supposed to be. So it's pretty interesting. But yeah, check out Year One. Hannah, I bought it for Hannah for her birthday and she loved Year One. It's very dark, noir.
I'll have to at some point.
Yeah. You might even be able to get it at like a library or something. It's very,
Probably.
very popular. It's
Although
one of
the
like
nearest, I don't even know if the nearest library to me is actually even open.
we've been doing the
anymore.
library a lot lately. I'm trying to not buy as many books because I'll buy them cheap and they'll just sit in my library and I don't read them yet. So I've been
Someone in
like,
chat's just like, but everyone likes Adam West. Yes, we like Adam West. We just the TV show was just like,
like Adam West. He was okay, but like it was just
Yeah.
a weird show.
it was.
It was a weird
continue.
show. Yeah, it's a weird show. But yeah, no, I watched the new band, loved it. It was very dark, it was very gritty.
Yeah.
Then now they're talking about doing the sequel to Joaquin Phoenix's Joker.
Yeah, and it's apparently it's gonna be a musical.
Yeah, but the thing that has me excited is they're trying to get like there's talks that Lady Gaga is going to do Harley
Yeah.
Quinn, and I was like, give it to me. Because I think Lady Gaga is a fantastic actress. She's really, really good. And Margot Robbie kind of owns the Harley Quinn role, but I would love to see Lady Gaga take on it.
Mm-hmm.
I think Margot Robbie captures that weird, like, uppity,
She can-
giggity psycho.
yeah.
Like,
Yes.
but I think Lady Gaga is going to make it a little bit deeper and a little bit darker and because that's what
I'd say
Joaquin
so.
Phoenix did. And that was,
Yes.
both of those are fantastic. Joaquin and Heath will live forever as Joker.
Oh
Sorry,
yeah, Heath
Nicholson.
Ledger, rest in peace. Absolutely nailed it in Dark Knight. It basically made that movie a success. His performance as the Joker.
And it's just insane. Like, I know we're rambling about Batman here, but like, it's just insane how like Heath is still considered the pivotal Joker, but Joaquin's so close. but it's because but Joaquin also got like an hour and a half of screen time versus Heath got like 30 minutes.
Yeah, he did it in a short space of time and managed to like nail the role and literally make everyone remember it.
I'm gonna go watch them all
Dark
now.
Knight like 10 times.
I'm gonna go watch them all again. Let's do it.
I gotta go watch the new one first, and then I'll come back to you.
Yeah, watch the new one. Yeah, if you get HBO Max, it's on there.
Do we have HBO Max in the UK?
I don't know. I always forget.
I know we got Paramount Plus recently.
Okay.
But I don't know about HBO Max.
You can get your iCarly reunion and
I've seen a clip of iCarly reboot. Pass.
Dude, yeah. There's something about watching like the kids you grew up with being adults now, and it takes you out of what you.
It's not the same without Gibby as well.
Oh, that's right. He didn't want to do anything with it.
He didn't want any part of it. No.
Sometimes they're like that.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're like that. The Star Wars thing, the guy Sir Alec Guinness, the one that originally played Obi-Wan, like he wanted nothing to do with it after.
No, he didn't. And then Harrison Ford was similar when the sequels were done. So that's why they killed him off in the first movie.
Yeah, and then, but like Sir Alec Guinness, like it's all he got known for, and he got upset because he was like a classically trained actor, like at a like Juilliard, like some fancy, hoity-toity school, and he was like, "I'm trained in Shakespearean, blah blah blah. I don't want to be known as Obi-Wan." And then they got
everyone just stares at him and goes, "Hello there."
Yeah, and then now it's sad because Ewan McGregor will probably be immortalized as Obi-Wan.
Yeah. Especially with the Kenobi series that came out recently.
He will be Obi-Wan. No one's going to remember Alec Guinness, and it's going to be very, very sad. So, on that note, let's talk about some video games.
Ooh.
Yeah, let's talk about some video games. What do we got? Okay, so I will go ahead since you are the newest member of the family. Let's see what you're playing here. So, let's go ahead and let's start off with some Elden Ring talk because Zenith just finished Elden Ring. He talked about that on the last episode he was on. Yeah, he finished it. He had 100 some odd hours in it.
100 hours?
Over 100 hours.
In my save file, 88 hours.
I don't know how you guys are doing this. I don't know if it's just me and I'm old and I can't handle the skill set.
The thing is, I tried to get every boss. I killed, I think, about in my brain 159 or 160 bosses in total. And apparently I missed 5.
Wait, there's 160 bosses in this game?
In total. 165 bosses in total, roughly.
What the hell?
If you exclude the duplicate ones, it's 109.
109?
Yes. They fucking like immediately like put everything they had into this game, including like the environment, the world, and every single boss they could think of.
I still haven't beat Margit yet. And Zenith was like, go play the exploration game, like part of it. Go explore, hang out.
That's my number one advice to anyone. If you can't beat Margit, explore. Explore. Find other bosses, beat them, gain the experience, and you'll come back and you'll be a lot stronger. I literally just started my second playthrough of Elden Ring yesterday. I managed to get my character's level to level 30 plus, and I went back to Margit and I beat him in 2 tries.
So like Margit is literally the first boss, right?
He's the first like mandatory boss.
Okay. So what I guess my question is now, because like I said, I still haven't beat Margit. Does the skill ceiling shrink down once you get past Margit? Like do the bosses is the progression a little bit, or do I have to constantly keep doing this exploring thing?
I would recommend exploring just so you can find whatever you can find, because honestly, the best part about Elden Ring is exploring Elden Ring.
It's the Breath of the Wild thing.
It basically is. Like, they put so much good environments into the game. It's a beautifully made game. Like, if you can find the underground well that leads down into this like underground area. I can't remember it from the top of my head, the name of it, but it's insanely beautiful, that area. It's hard, but it's insanely beautiful. There's like 3 different points where you can enter it, and each point enters you in a different part of the world, and it's so beautiful. It's one of the most beautiful sights to see in the game.
Yeah, Zenith was telling me like how he found this one weapon that made his playthrough exceptionally easier. It wasn't a complete cakewalk, but it made it more bearable.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I guess I just don't like. I feel like I'm gonna get turned off because I'm gonna do all this exploring.
Do you want to know an easier way of getting through the game without too much hassle?
He said he found some sword that's like the Master Sword. When you fling it, it shoots beams, and I'm like, okay.
Ooh, which sword is that?
I don't know, but
it could be the sword that can. It might be the sword that can shoot out flames but also shoot out magic.
He called it the Kamehameha sword, and he just like flings out.
Hang on, what's that sword called? I need to have a look.
You can look at it, but like, yeah, he told me like, but I'm just like, it's one of those things where it's like, I feel like I'm gonna go do all this exploring, leveling up, beat Margit, and then I have to go do it for hours again to just beat the next one, and then I'm kind of like,
was it a great sword that you said? Or like, is it a great?
I think
sword?
He said it was a great sword. It was a minute, but
let's have a look. Is it called? Where is it? No, it's not you. It's not you. It's not you. Oh,
but yeah, he called it the Kamehameha sword, and it flung like flames and stuff. And then he talked about how there was one that was like the Game of Thrones, like Iron Throne sword. And it just...
That's the one that I used for my first playthrough. I think it's called the Grafted Greatsword, and I took one look at that sword and was like, mine.
Yeah, like I hope I find this stuff. I'm gonna actually like sit and dedicate some time to this game. Like I'm gonna actually like go full bore in it and try to do it, because
you should do.
It's like, so I like it. The difficulty thing isn't the turnoff. I understand the concept of this. Were you around like back in the day when I was talking about this with Zenith last stream, where I almost broke a monitor and a controller because of Dark Souls 3? Were you around for when I did that stream?
I don't know if I've heard of this.
So I don't know if I was on stream.
I know you got mad at Dark Souls, but I didn't know you nearly broke a monitor about
Maybe it wasn't on the stream when I did. I know there was a moment where I instead of throwing the controller against the wall, I literally like slammed it on the table, and I was like, fuck this, I'm leaving.
Jesus.
I
mean, I've seen a few rage moments from my friends. The one that I can remember is a good buddy of mine called Mr. Saturday. I think you are familiar with him.
I'm Mr. Saturday. I like him. I miss him.
Yeah. I watched back when he was streaming. He tried playing Outlast on stream.
Ooh.
It did not go well for him. And he literally, after about an hour, he said, fuck this shit, I'm done. Uninstall the game and end its stream.
Fuck this, I'm done.
Yeah.
Zenith, because we were getting in the topic about like rage moments, and Zenith actually was talking about how like he got so upset or something, he got up and he yanked his headphones, and I think he has the same headphones you do, and he
the Sennheiser ones.
Yeah, and he yanked the cable and it wrecked the headphones.
Oh,
so he was like,
that's not a cheap headset either.
Yeah, he's like, crap, and it's like $200 or whatever, and you're like, god damn it. But that's what happened.
I know the sword that Zenith used as well. Is it called the Sacred Relic Sword?
Maybe. I think that might be it. And but yeah, like I was so mad at this game. I don't think this was stream, but I did get mad on stream. I remember that one. And some of your friends were in there watching it, and they were just like laughing at me because I was getting so mad, and I'm just like, I can't do this. Screw this. And then, but there was one time where I was playing it by myself.
Yeah.
Then, if it was not on stream, it was by myself, and I was so frustrated that I was like, "Fuck this game!" And I slammed the controller on the table when I almost threw it against the monitor.
Jesus!
If I had actually gone through with what I was going to do, I would have been at Best Buy buying like a new monitor and a new controller, and it would have just been a mess. But we were talking about like moments where you just like you do your own fuck up, and you pay like Zenith ripped his headphone. It's like crap, and it's like, what can you do? Who can you blame? Yourself.
Yeah. I've not broken anything from a rage induced from a game. There is, however, one game that I will say that beat me, as I always say. It beat me, and I haven't returned to it since, but I am tempted to because I've been told that it's quite easy to cheese in some levels. Cuphead.
Oh, I love Cuphead. I haven't beat
Cuphead. I came close to beating it. I came close. And then I got to King Dice, and I could not get past him whatsoever. I spent 3 hours trying to get past him, could not do it, and I just said, nope, I'm done. I'm not having fun anymore. This game is just like, I'm done with the game. And I haven't gone back to it in about 4 years because of that one moment.
Someone in the chat here said I need to play it in the Tesla. And I'm like, you can play Cuphead in a Tesla?
You could play Cuphead in the Tesla? Or Outlast?
I'm going to guess it's Cuphead, but like...
Can you play Cuphead in Tesla? Did Elon get to that point where he can now play the Cuphead in the Tesla?
Well, I think Cuphead is on Androids, and I think Tesla, that monitor thing uses an Android. Yeah, you remember when you were here in America and you stayed with me. Yeah, you were at the Tesla. We went to that Tesla store.
I did sit in the Tesla. That is true.
Quite nice, huh? Quite luxurious.
Yeah, it was comfy.
Yeah, you're like, oh, I'm like...
How's Tesla doing now?
They're okay, but I think no car manufacturer's doing well right now. I drive through LA here, and like car lots are just empty. Like half empty because they can't get cars, because they can't get chips to do stereos and navigation systems. And
I don't know, driving these days is getting harder and harder, mainly because of fuel prices and just cars not being available as they used to.
I don't know how much $6 I don't know how much it is in pounds, but here in LA I'm paying $6.10.
It's ranging between £1.70 a litre and £2 right now.
Ooh. Yeah, so I pay $6.10. I use premium because the car takes premium. So I use $6.10. I'm like $6.10, $6.15 a gallon.
Jeez.
American. And then if I have to that's a cheap gas station. That's like an Arco type budget gas station.
Since I am British, we use liters.
Yeah. So and then you also use Celsius.
Yes. We use Celsius and we use centimeters as well.
The centimeter thing I'm okay with.
Yeah, good.
That I'm fine with. Just give me the centimeter number, like 100 centimeters. Okay, cool. I know.
100 centimeters equals 1 meter.
Yeah, it works fine. But no, so it's like, yeah, it's getting expensive. It's like, it used to be like 10 or 15 bucks to go see my mom. Now it's 20, 25. And I'm like, yeah, sorry.
I remember in the UK the year, I think it was early 2000s, I think 2006, 2007, where like the price of fuel went up to over £1. And then everyone was like, oh God, it's the end. Oh no, no. And
so what's the pound? What's the pound to US dollar right now?
Something like 0.75 to I don't know. It's like 1 point something.
Just shy of 1.2. So it's like $1.19.
So like 70 pence, 70 to 80 pence equals $1 basically.
Yeah, it's wild. I don't even know anymore. I'm like, all I know is everyone's getting screwed by this whole thing. But yeah, apparently you can play Cuphead in a Tesla. You imagine if you play Dark Souls in a Tesla? Let's just rage and then crash my car.
I imagine how long the screen would last.
It's just like someone's going to figure out how to do it. But like just crash your car into like the Tesla dealership. What's wrong? Dark Souls.
Just
Elden
Dark
Ring.
Souls.
Elden Ring. Okay, we get it. No, that kind of deal. But
do you actually have Elden Ring as well, by the way, Eric?
I do.
How long you at Margit still? Have you been any bosses, or are you just on Margit?
No, I got to where you go to Margit. So I'll go over this again. So I got the game, and I saw the part where like you go and there's the guy on the horse. I forget what they're called. In the
Tree
first
Sentinel.
Yeah, the Tree Sentinel, like in the first part, right? So like I tried to take that guy down and he beat the shit out of me.
No.
And then I was like, okay. And then I ran away from him, and then I found the little castle thing where there's the bonfire, quote unquote.
Yeah.
And then I, found that guy, and then I noticed that the little bonfire kind of leaves a little trail of light, so it tells you which direction to go. So then I went
where to go.
I went that direction, and then I found this little camp, and I beat all those guys except that Tree Sentinel that's kind of like in the middle of it. And then I found the other thing, and it's like, oh, go this way. So I went that way, but then that big org looking thing like came down off the roof,
giant,
and I was like, oh shit, and I ran. And then I tried to beat him a couple times, and then I'm like, okay, this isn't working. And then I was like, wait a minute. And I ran past him. Like run, I ran right past him, and I got to the point where it gets to the other bonfire, and it takes you. So this is where I understood the brilliance of the game.
Yeah.
I got to this whole thing, and I got all the way over to Margit, right? And then Margit whoops your ass. And then I was like, okay, so you think you're slick by running past all this stuff. You realize you actually have to go back and level up and play and beat these things. And I'm like,
it's literally that case.
It's actually brilliant. I know we've talked about Elden Ring a lot here, but it's actually brilliant game design. It's got a high difficulty ceiling, but it kind of rewards you when you actually do. Because I took down the orc thing finally, and I was like, oh shit, yeah. And I started like fist pumping here at my desk, and I was all about it. I took it down, right? Collected my runes, and then I leveled up. But like, it is brilliant how you think you're smart and passing it, and you're like, I don't got to deal with this. You think you're smart, but then it's like, no, you do, but you got to go all the way back and do it again and level up. It's actually brilliant. So I'm like at level 18 right now. At
18's all right. With my new character build, I do know a few cheeses where you can get an instant boost in runes by doing a few things. One that I did try, which worked for me the first time around, but I didn't work this time because I think they might have patched it. There's a cheese in Dragonborough along Caelid. It's a Knights Cavalry boss fight, which, you know, if you've seen the Knights Cavalry, they only appear at night times.
Yeah.
And they're on horseback, and either they have a flail or a spear, and they attack you on horseback. So it's like a horse up on horse attack, basically. So you go on your steed, and then they go on their steed, and you're basically battling it out, duking it out with him. There's a pathway that goes along with it on the bridge. There's also a bunch of enemies with poison traps. And so what you used to be able to do is you would get it to chase you through all the poison traps. And then when you got to a certain point, the boss would desync from you, so it would not recognize you anymore. But there was a glitch where it would just die randomly out of nowhere. And when it died, you got 40k runes.
What the hell? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to start hunting for this stuff.
On my first playthrough, I tested it to see if it worked. It worked. And I got 40k instant runes. Second playthrough, I tried it 3 times. Didn't work, unfortunately, so I think they might have patched the glitch. But there is another one you can do as well, featuring what I call the Mega Dragon, basically. So there is a grace you can get to next to a fort with a big dragon, like a full-on giant-sized dragon that's literally... I'm not sure if it's been injured. It just stays there, basically, and doesn't really attack. If you go at it with a bleed weapon, you can constantly attack it over and over and over again until eventually the bleed activates and takes a chunk of health away. If you kill that dragon, you kill also all the surrounding dragons around the Mega Dragon. Instant 75k runes.
I'm going to start hunting in this game more. I'm going to figure it out. Like I said, I'm going to sit and I'm going to actually like dedicate and try to go through it. When I go through my list here, when I finish up this list that I'm working on, I think I'm going to actually do this. We're going to talk about Elden Ring on this podcast for the next year. Watch.
Do it. Because here's the thing also. Something that I also found out recently about Elden Ring in my own personal notes here. Elden Ring is still the best-selling game of 2022 so far.
It will.
And it's also now the top 10 selling game of all time in the US. Yeah.
Here's what I see. While we close on an Elden Ring here, here's what I think is going to happen. I truly think that Elden Ring, at this point, keep in mind we still have like God of War and stuff to come.
Yes, God of War Ragnarok.
And then we have the Last of Us remaster or remake coming.
But I don't know if that will work.
But the industry loves Naughty Dog. Remember that.
I have a lot of mixed feelings about the remake. Let's put it like that.
Yeah, it shouldn't. I don't think it needs to be done, but I'm here for it.
I think it's nice that it's done. I just have a few other problem with it. It's mainly the price tag for it.
They're charging way too much for it.
Yes, they are charging way too much for it.
It should be a $40 game.
I agree.
Or 50 now, whatever it should be 20 cheaper than what the standard is.
Because it's a game that came out like 9 years ago, originally on the PS3,
and it was remastered.
Got remastered a year later, and now it's being remade. It looks good. It's just the fact that to me, it's not worth $70. It's worth $50 max to me.
Yeah, which the standard rate is $70 now, so it should be $20 less.
Yeah, honestly.
So like I think Elden Ring will be game of the year. It should
Oh
be.
yeah. Oh, absolutely.
But this is all dependent on God of War.
See, here's what I've already talked about. It's a good buddy of mine. I think Ragnarok will get into the Game of the Year category, but it'll become too late because
the cutoff.
It'll be a month before. I think it'll be roughly about a month between Ragnarok releasing and the Game Awards, fully going on. And I think, in my personal opinion, there should be a cutoff point for Game of the Year. And I think that cutoff point should be end of October because, it's too much of a gap. It really is.
So according to the Game Awards FAQ here, cutoff date for eligible games, this is for 2021. Yeah. That cutoff date was November 19th.
Right, so that means you can still get into the Game of the Years then. But
yeah.
Here's the thing, though, is that Elden Ring's been out longer and has had more time to gestate into the gaming market, has already gotten a lot of, praise, already got a lot of attention. It's been the highly anticipated game for the last 2 years at the Game Awards. Got great feedback. Still has some bugs to iron out for sure.
Oh, for sure. The PC version is really kind of choppy and it's kind of messy.
I've had to verify my files a few times on Steam because of crashes.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It could be a contender against Elden Ring, but in my personal opinion, I think the Elden Ring community is so freaking strong. Like the Soulsborne community is so strong, they'll probably win Game of the Year.
Ragnarok's release date is
the 9th of November.
They might miss the cutoff for people to actually play it and review it, and
it's gonna take too long. That's why I'm saying Elden Ring's had more time, but Ragnarok will have less than a month basically, and then Game Awards.
Here's the thing too. Yes, there's high expectations for Ragnarok, but I feel like I feel like we're gonna get very much like the Forbidden West. It's gonna be a lot of the same game.
It could be. I've actually got Forbidden West. I got it for my birthday, but I've not started it because I've just not gone around to starting it yet.
Did you go through the first one already?
I've played the first one.
Yeah.
I technically didn't play the DLC content for the first one, but I don't think I need to in order to get into the second one.
You don't. It's just little, if anything. Stuff. It's just extra stuff. But yeah, Forbidden West is a lot of the same stuff you experienced in the first game. It's too much.
I think Forbidden West didn't help the fact that some of the devs on Forbidden West kind of bashed Elden Ring as well when Elden Ring came out a week after, and I was just like, dude, come on.
They need to stop releasing Horizon games like a week within the biggest releases ever. So
it's a thing that gaming companies need to understand is they need to spread the game releases out. Honestly,
well, that's the thing. The movie industry gets it. Like the movie industry gets it. Like Paramount's not going to go release Top Gun up against Star Wars. Like they're just not going to do it.
No.
Right? Or Jurassic Park or any of those, staples in the thing. It's just like you don't go release Forbidden or Horizon Zero Dawn with Zelda. Like you just don't do it.
Yeah.
Zelda dominates the the industry. Yeah. They're beloved. They're iconic. That people line up to play them, and they play them all night. And like you just, it doesn't make sense to do it.
Yeah.
Even though, again, which is sad because that was such a good game. Zero Dawn is a good game. I played through the whole thing and I loved it. But it was so overshadowed by Breath of the Wild that, on top of that, it was the Switch release too.
Yeah.
So like people were rushing to get Switches and get Zelda and like Horizon.
I think that's why I benefited from playing it because I didn't get a Switch until like 2018.
That's probably the only reason you did play it.
That's probably the reason that I played it because I didn't get a Switch until like a year after it came out. And if you look up November's lineup for games as well, there's like 3 major titles that I can think of that are coming out in November already. There's
God of
the
War.
Skull and Bones game, which got like a trailer finally after 5 years of development.
The Harry Potter one?
Ubisoft.
Is it the Harry Potter one also?
No, the Harry Potter one, I have no idea when that's coming out.
Okay, they haven't done a date for that yet.
No. The Skull and Bones game it's a pirate game that they literally announced like 5 years ago. Then we didn't hear anything about it for about like the entirety of the 5 years, and they just released a trailer for it last week, which I watched. I thought it looked okay, but the release date they announced it for it was the 8th of November, the day before Ragnarok comes out.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
This is actually a huge month. I'm looking at the list now.
Yeah.
Skull and Bones, that's the Ubisoft one, I think.
That's the Ubisoft one.
Right. That's gonna
flop.
That's gonna flop because they've got
they've got that, and then Pokemon Scarlet and Violet come out like 10 days later.
So on that note of Pokemon, in your list here, you have Pokemon. Which
Pokemon games?
Scarlet and so how are you playing Scarlet and Violet already?
I'm not. I just included it because there's a lot to talk about with that game.
A lot to talk about. Okay, so you are the resident Pokemon expert. So let's take a few minutes here and let's talk about some Pokemon, because I actually liked the last one I tried, but I only have like an hour, 2 hours into it. Is
that Sword and Shield or is that Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl?
No. The Arceus one.
Oh, Arceus. Yeah.
That was a lot of fun because it was like
a lot of fun.
It was a whole different environment. It was very like serene.
That was like Game Freak finally changing up the formula and making it a little bit like different compared to how it normally was. I liked it. I thought the game could do with some improvements though, like graphically wise, it could do with improvements.
I think that's a Game Freak thing.
Yeah. I'm putting that down to a hardware issue though as well, because the Switch itself is like getting a 5-year-old game.
It's getting the hairs.
Console.
It's getting the gray hairs.
Yeah, it is getting the gray hairs. It needs an update on the hardware badly. It does.
We look back on it, what a brilliant idea they had though. Like you think about it, yes, it was. It's underpowered now and it's showing its age, but what a brilliant idea.
Yeah, it was.
And now Steam is just going to dominate it.
Steam Deck all the way.
How has hers on order?
Oh, I've not even ordered. I'm not even attempting to order a Steam Deck just because I have no use for one right now.
So I'm not a big Pokemon person. Like I've played a couple of them here and there, but I do have an Analog Pocket on order. If you don't know,
does that have like a bunch of old Pokemon games on it? Like,
so let me explain what the Analog Pocket is. There's a company called Analog, and what they do is they use what's called FPGA. It's basically a hardware recreation of old consoles. Super Nintendo, they're very expensive. Like an analog Super Nintendo is literally over $100. It's like $200.
Yeah,
but they do them in metal housing. But it's all hardware recreated.
Analog.co.
Analog ANALOGUE. Look up Analog Pocket and it'll send you there. So what they do is they take hardware. They emulate the hardware, not the software.
Yeah.
They're emulating the hardware.
So it's not illegal.
It's not that. It's that the games it's an accurate representation of the hardware as much as humanly possible. So what they've done is they've designed this thing called the Analog Pocket, and it's the FPGA board. And what it can do is it actually will hardware emulate numerous handhelds. So the primary use is Game Boy and Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color, right? But they sell cartridge adapters that you put into the cartridge slot, and then you can do Game Gear. Clever. You can do Game Gear, Turbo Graphics. You can do, what was the other one?
It's
Atari Lynx. Yeah. So I have one of these on order. So like if you don't know, there's a big modding scene for Nintendo handhelds. You can go mod a Game Boy Advance, put a modern screen, a modern battery pack, etc. USB-C charging, the whole shebang. You can mod the hell out of your Game Boy now. I looked into doing it, but a Game Boy right now on the market is going to cost me anywhere from $70 to $100.
Yeah.
And then I have to buy the screen kit, which is like $60 to $70, and then I have to find somebody to do the work unless I'm comfortable doing it myself. So I'm at $200. This Analog Pocket is 200 some odd. I think it's 250. So I'm already like there. They're going to make a dock for it so you can like dock it and it'll show up on your TV.
Yeah.
So I'm super excited for this thing, and I think when I get my hands on this Analog Pocket, I'm going to go through the Game Boys and I'm going to play these Pokemons.
Please do.
because it's beautiful. The screen is gorgeous. It's not like you're not like tilting it in a way where you're like, or like
you don't have to like shine a light on it to actually see the game.
They're beautiful. I will do a whole thing when I finally get it. I'm quarter 4, so I should be getting an email fairly in the next couple months here when it ships. It's already paid for. I just have to wait for them to ship it. Fine. So like I'll do the whole thing here because I'm so excited for this thing.
Which version did you get, by the way, as well? Because I know there's like 2 different versions you can get.
I got a black one.
Black one.
The black one, yeah. That was the only one that was available to me, I think, to order, yeah. If I remember right. But
I will say, if you play the first gen of Pokemon games, like the red, blue, yellow, expect some glitches. There are plenty of glitches. There's the 256 glitch in it, which notoriously makes you miss regardless of how accurate your move is.
Oh no.
Yeah,
that'll be fun. That'll make it fun though. But
that's a fun one.
So what's the word on Scarlet and Violet? So these are the actual like new Pokemons, right? This is like in the same realm.
These are the new ones that got announced at the start. I think at the start of this year.
These are main lineup, right? These are
mainline games. They are officially Gen 9. Scarlet and Violet release date is the 19th of November. And it features 2 new legendaries. It has 2 different professors as well for each version of the game you get. So I believe you get Sada for Scarlet and you get Toro for Violet. Scarlet represents the past and Violet represents the future. So it's very much past and future like kind of style with the games.
We're going Doc Brown with this whole thing? We're going back in time?
Well, here's the thing that I kind of would like to see. I would like to see an idea that I had in my brain when I first heard about this was that I would like it, depending on which version you get, if you got Scarlet, the main enemy that you would face in the game would be the professor from Violet. Because if you think about that, that's actually quite a nice little thing to do because it would be past versus future there. And then vice versa, depending on the game. And I wouldn't mind that because I think that would change things up a little bit, like having the professor be an antagonist in the game. Then, like, I don't know.
The problem I've always had with Pokemon is I never know which one to buy. And I think a lot of people run into this problem. Like, you're a parent with kids, and you think about it, and you've got the money for one. Like, let's say it's Christmas time and you have a kid, and you've got money for one. Mm-hmm. Which one do you buy your kid, And then as a consumer like myself like who wants to play it, but I, have limited time to research, I was like, I don't know which one to buy. I wish.
Yeah.
And then you find out in the end, they're very, very similar with the exception of like a handful of Pokemon.
This is the thing that Sword and Shield has started doing better, like from that point, because they had more than just Pokemon exclusives in the game. They also had exclusive trainers. In the DLC content for the Isle of Armor, there were 2 different trainers that you could rate as rivals. They had exclusive gym leaders as well with Bay and Alistair, and then you had Melody, and I can't remember the rock-type gym leader's name, but it's like you hear that they had that. I think if they are going to continue doing this, they need to do more exclusivity and give an actual reason for, like, buying like separate ones.
Hear me out.
One because
they may have already done this. I may just be not in the know. But hear me out. What if it was 2 games, right? Mm-hmm. But they Zelda the whole thing, and one game is the overworld and one game is the dark world. And then you online it, and then you can transfer to the dark world and back and all.
Oh, what if you do that, but then they go back to what they used to do with Gen 1 to 4, they make a 3rd game, and the 2 games interlink into the 3rd solo game.
Right. So you gotta give reason to get people to keep buying.
Yeah.
Because I'm at the point now where I feel like there's 2 games, and I've said this before, there's 2 games in this world that should be on the subscription model. It's The Sims and it's Pokemon. Mm-hmm. Because they keep charging, $60 a game
Yeah.
And it's $120 realistically if you want the full
Well,
thing. It's, every
when I
gen.
bought my version of Sword and Shield, I bought the dual pack, which was £95 for me because it was on sale.
Okay, but you're paying $100, every
And
time.
I'm probably going to be paying that again because
Yeah.
I was only going to get Violet, and then they released a new trailer for Pokemon, and then they revealed this what Sada looks like, the professor, and I went, shit.
It's like, yeah, it's one of those things. So like, if there was a version like where there's a dark world and an overworld and it's Pokemon,
Yeah.
that would give me reason to pick the game that fits my personality.
It would. Yeah.
I'll be like, oh,
You
I
are
want to play the
correct.
dark one. Yeah, I want to play the dark one. And then they play the light. Like, you want to play the light one. And then you and I get together and we do the old school link up where it's like, oh, I'm in the dark one now collecting the dark Pokemon.
Yeah.
Like, Nintendo, hear us out. Or Game Freak,
is a good
whoever,
idea.
hear us out. I need reason to buy 2 copies of this game. See,
Yeah.
if there was a light and a dark, that would give you 2 reasons to buy the game.
I mean, here's the thing as well, like, I feel sorry for any bisexuals that are trying to buy like Pokemon, the new Pokemon games, because like they had to make both professors hot, didn't they?
Attractive professors.
Attraction. That's all it takes. Literally, Game Freak literally leaned into the attraction factor and was like, "Let's make both the professors hot."
What are these? Pokemon Violet. Let's
Pokemon Scarlet has Sada and Pokemon Violet has Turo. And then Sada is basically an Amazon like Jurassic styled professor. Full on abs and everything. Yes. And then Turo is basically the equivalent of a tech bro with a full-on beard, and like he basically Toro would basically sell you NFTs and cryptocurrency. Let's be real.
Pokemon
he would.
NFTs.
Yeah, he absolutely would. Whereas Sada would be the one who would slap it in the face if he tried to do that with her.
There's very strong Aloy vibes with the.
Yeah, as Chibi Right says, there are already amazing cosplays out there as well of these characters, and the games aren't even out yet.
I dig the tech, bro. I feel like this dude drives a Tesla and eats sweet green for lunch every day.
I feel like he's the cool person version of Elon Musk.
And he drinks like kombucha, all
coconut
every day.
Milk.
Yeah,
anything.
Coconut milk, kombucha, and like oat milk.
He actually be Pierce. That's the one. That's the name of the rock type gym leader that I couldn't think of.
But that's funny. That's legit. Oh my god, they're all like young and attractive and stuff. This game's gonna be issues.
As I said, I was only gonna buy Violet, but I'm probably gonna buy both because I feel like I have a little bit of an attraction to Sada.
Do what your heart tells you.
Here's the thing. I love the design of the legendary from Violet, which is why I was gonna go for Violet. But then introduces Sada in Scarlet, and I'm like, oh crap.
They do just enough to get you to buy both. They're like
just enough to get me to buy both, so I'm going to be out like £100.
And then they do the combo packet, like it's right here for you. Here you go.
They already have that on pre-order, and I've not pre-ordered yet, but I'm probably going to.
I'll wait. I'm gonna wait till it shows up. Like someone's gonna turn it in used at some point, and I'll buy it.
I'm gonna wait maybe and see if I can get it on sale again, because that's what I did last time with Sword and Shield, and I got saved £5. So
it's Nintendo. You're not saving anything. They don't do it.
Yeah, I know, but if they put it on Amazon for like 95.
Oh yeah, Amazon always does it like a little bit cheaper to get.
That's where I got it from like last time. So
and GameStop doesn't do anything. They're like, here, we'll sell you one for $45, but it's used. How'd you get it used already? Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. Just don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. So what Zelda games are you actually playing? Or not Zelda, but Pokemon games are you actually playing?
I just finished up a playthrough of Pokemon Black 2 challenge mode, which, for those who don't know what challenge mode is in Pokemon Black 2 and White 2, it was basically Game Freak's only version of a hard mode and an easy mode in a Pokemon game. Where like you unlocked it by playing through the game once, basically. And then the second playthrough you could do it on challenge mode, and challenge mode basically increases the levels of the trainers and the gym leaders from 1 to 5 more than they normally are. They gave the gym leaders extra Pokemon as well, and the Elite Four members too. It basically makes things a little bit more difficult. It was my first time doing challenge mode. Didn't have much of a problem playing it, honestly. And so it was just like it was a bit of a harder playthrough because I had to do a bit of training with like between each ones, but you got like the increase in experience as well. Plus, I used an item called Lucky Egg, which if you don't know what a Lucky Egg does, it increases the amount of experience points you get normally by like to like 1.5%, I think, which helped massively with my training.
Is Pokemon that's the expensive one, right? Like Black is one of the expensive ones, or is
it? The old school, that's it called now. The older school Nintendo, classic Nintendo DS games.
Soul Silver, I know, is like stupid expensive.
I have Soul Silver, and I think the cheapest I've seen it for was like $100.
You want to know a funny story? Mm-hmm. My brother wanted. I think he wanted the other one. No, Soul Silver. It was the silver one.
Yeah.
So my brother wanted the silver one for his birthday one year. And it was already a couple years out, right? So it's on the secondary market, like inflated secondary market. There's a comic book swap meet that Pal and I now go to, but I used to go there all the time by myself. And I had a game vendor I worked with, and I bought the Soul Silver in the box sealed with the Pokewalker.
Ooh.
Guess how much I paid back then? This was like almost 10 years ago.
$20.
Not that. I paid about $50 for it.
50. Okay.
But now I saw one and the dude wanted like $300.
Yeah, it's if you have it like mint in box, it's like ridiculously expensive.
Yeah, he wanted the $300. I was like, I'm so glad I bought that game when I did, because it was about 10 years ago when things started going up.
Yeah.
And I was like, ugh, but I'm so glad about that. My brother has almost all of the old school ones. He has a bunch of the. He found one at a Goodwill too. Like they used to do. They had a sack of Nintendo Game Boy games, and it was like $10 for the sack, right?
$10 for the sack.
But there was a see-through green one in there that had no label.
Ooh.
And my brother was like, "I'm going to take this."
Leaf green.
I think it was emerald.
Emerald. So leaf green was the one where it was just completely green with a few patterns.
This was the see-through green one.
That's emerald then. Emerald is a see-through green one with all the emerald markings on it and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, it had no label. I
actually
like
had that somewhere.
The label was like ripped off, but he got that game for like $10 because he bought the sack. And I was like, cool. Like I found so much stuff like that. We talk about that a lot on here because I always talk about like how much stuff I found and passed
if you
on.
Remember also, we had a conversation a while ago about GameCube Pokemon games because I was trying to look for Gales of Darkness XD.
That one's expensive
on the GameCube. Now. Yeah, I think the cheapest I saw it for was like £70 on eBay.
Yeah, that one's expensive now. And then if you want that Pokemon box, take out a mortgage because it's like $1,500.
Yeah, it's like, oh god, I do own Coliseum, but my version of Coliseum needs to have the scratches fixed on it in order to try and like salvage it. So I need to try and get a kit to see if I can try and salvage the game and see if we can get it to work.
If you go to like a used store, they might be able to just buff it out.
I've been told I can go to my local game store and it will cost me only £3 to like
have them do it, because then if they mess it up, it's on them.
Yeah.
But like,
they're like, can I have a replacement, please?
But it's insane to me how expensive Pokemon games are. Like they've died down. The prices have died down a little because of the pandemic's, easing up. But like peak pandemic 2020, the prices got insane because people were so bored.
And everyone just wanted to like alleviate the boredom with like classic Pokemon
nostalgia
games.
Like a lot of people were like wanted to live their nostalgia.
Everyone was at home for the first time since they were kids, so they were just like, I want to play this. And also, let's not forget, Animal Crossing came out at the exact moment the pandemic happened, so that got a massive boom that year.
That was nuts. We couldn't find Switches and all that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, the Animal Crossing Switch. Was like an exclusive item at one point when no one.
Leshki has one. Leshki got it when I think it came out. Yeah, the Animal Crossing Switch.
Does Pal have one?
No, Pal has the actual like. She got the updated model with the battery and stuff like when they first came out. Like that's when the pandemic happened. They did the upgraded model.
Right. And
then she got one, and then I was jealous because her battery lasted forever, so I went and bought one.
You still have the guide for Pokemon Coliseum, GB? Damn.
Yeah, someone in the chat has the guide for Pokemon Coliseum. Those are worth some money too. I
might have the original box that my GameCube came with the game.
Oh, hold on to that box unless you need some
Yeah.
cash, because someone will buy that and just...
I'm not sure in what quality it's in, but I still have that box. And I think I still have the card, the container which like my game came in. It didn't come. I don't think it came in like a full on, a plastic case. It came in a sleeve.
Those people pay mad money for those boxes because
Yeah.
they build the kit. Wasn't it an exclusive color too? I don't remember. Was the Pokemon XD one an exclusive color?
It wasn't this was no. It was just a standard purple
Okay.
GameCube with the game in it, and then the adapter for connecting to the Game Boy Advance, so that you could trade over
The times,
like
man.
Ruby and Sapphire games into it.
The times.
Yeah,
I miss it.
yeah.
A lot of fun. Well, we will look forward to your Pokemon and Scarlet or your Pokemon Scarlet and Violet playthroughs.
I mean, I will be playing it day one, that's for damn sure. And I've already seen a handful of leaks from the game as well, which I don't know if they're genuine, but
We'll find out. We'll find out what happens. So I'm on. I don't know what happened, and this is one of the ones I didn't play yet, but I fell in love with Legend of Zelda: A Link Between Worlds. The 3DS one. I'm so
3DS
hooked
one.
on this thing. It is basically
Nice.
the follow-up to A Link to the Past, which is my favorite Zelda game.
where does a Link into the Past fit in the timeline, though?
Ooh.
Is it in the Young Link or the Dark Link? What I don't know. The timeline's very
The timeline's
complicated.
so wild. I don't pay attention to it really.
I know there's 3 separate timelines that it's split into after Ocarina of Time, and that's all I know.
I think it's on the Ocarina timeline, but I may be wrong. It might be on the Young Link timeline. I could be wrong though.
Chibi, shut up.
He just wants to get stepped on by Seda. Wow, she got that Dom look to her though.
There's literally an artwork that I saw literally
Oh,
like
no.
2 hours after the trailer came out. Someone traced over Sada of a cosplayer who was looking down on you, or looking down at you like, what the fuck do you want?
We were talking about when they announced the during the what was it, the State of Play or whatever. We were talking about how
Yeah.
they're doing Resident Evil 8 with like the VR.
Oh my god!
And I'm like, someone's gonna do some dirty shit with whatever. What's her name is?
That
like,
was my immediate first
Yeah,
thought, and
someone's
I
gonna
was
do
like,
some
should I
weird
be
stuff.
that person?
What? No. Keep it to yourself if you are, but like someone's gonna do some weird stuff with that and put it on you.
Someone absolutely is, and I was just like, should I buy the VR2 headset now?
I don't know. That stuff kind of makes me sick. Like I get kind of like.
That's fair enough. I mean Resident Evil Village. I was like going to get it anyway, and then when Lady Dimitrescu appeared, I think it like awakened something in everyone.
Did you buy it and play it?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah,
played
good.
it, bought it, played all the way through. I've been meaning to do a hardcore playthrough of it, but I'm gonna probably wait until October when the DLC comes out.
Oh yeah, I'll get some DLC. I'm gonna get some DLC on that. But yeah, back to a link between. I'm like completely enamored and in love with this game. I don't know if it's my favorite Zelda, but I'm just hooked on it right now. I don't know if you've seen it, but A Link Between Worlds. The element for this one was you turn into a painting and it allows you to walk along the walls.
Is it bad that I thought you were about to see it turn into a pickle?
No, to a pickle. No pickle, but you're definitely a painting. You turn into a painting and you like walk along the walls. That's the element that helps you solve some of the puzzles.
Sort of like you could do that in Super Mario Odyssey with some of the environments where you could become 2D rather than 3D. Okay,
Yeah, I think that's where they got it from.
Yeah.
So like you flat against a wall and like it's so cool because and then to get into the dark world of this game, you go through these cracks using the painting technique.
And that's where the Dark World idea came from.
Yeah, it sends you into the dark world. And I'm like, this is awesome. And like
so does that mean then that Link to the Past is in the dark timeline?
I think so. I think so. I'm gonna go watch the whole timeline because there's a couple of the games I haven't like really played through. I play a lot of the same ones.
Yeah. On my channel, I have a video request section where you can redeem YouTube videos on. We literally watched an entire like video about the whole timeline Legend of Zelda,
nuts, right?
and it was a trip. That's all I have to say.
It's a trip. And
Yeah.
but like you flatten against a wall and you walk along the walls and stuff, and that's how you solve some of the puzzles.
Yes.
And it's gotten to this point where I'm like, it's so good that I kind of forget the element is there.
Yeah.
And I'm stuck in a room. I'm like, what the hell? Why can't I get through this room?
Where do I get out?
How do I get out of this room? And then I realized, oh, you blink flat against the wall, and then you walk across. It's so good. And like the music and everything about it, it's so A Link to the Past, which takes me so much nostalgia back to the original A Link to the Past. Which I will say, and even though it's my favorite one, but I think that is the best Zelda next to Breath of the Wild.
I can't really say what my favorite one is, really, can I? Because like I've only played 2 of them, so I don't
Which
really
ones have
have
you
a
played?
preference. Breath of the Wild twice, including the DLC in my second playthrough, and then the A Link's Awakening remake, technically.
Which one did you like more?
Probably Breath of the Wild, although I did appreciate the art style for Link's Awakening. I also love the music from Link's Awakening so much.
Link's Awakening is actually in my top 3 because it's so weird in terms of Zelda. There's
really
Goombas in it. There's
There was a Chomp. There's a Chomp,
and I think there's a Dodo bird, if I remember right. Like, it's so weird because the original Link's Awakening came out, that was like the second or third Zelda
1998?
game. Yeah, 4th game. That was like the 3rd or 4th game no, it's older than that. I think it's like 92 or 93 because it came out with A Link to the Past. Like, it's in that same generation. They're in the same generation. The original Game Boy run.
Link's Awakening.
You could put Link's Awakening DX in that.
1993.
93, right. Yeah, so that's when the original... So it came out at the same time around A Link to the Past. But I think Link's Awakening came first after Zelda 1 and 2, and then it came Link's Awakening in release line. And it's so weird because they were kind of doing all this stuff to throw it. They throw stuff at the wall to see which one fits. And they're like, oh, that's cool. But so like you get weird elements like a Goomba and a Chomp and all that stuff.
There were also some frustrating puzzles in there, which I couldn't figure out. Like the final boss, for instance, there was some parts which I couldn't figure out, so I literally had to Google a video on like, well, how the fuck do I damage this guy in this phase because I don't know.
Right. And then it's just, I think it's one of the most tragic stories in all of the series.
Yeah. Because like they leave Link in the sea again, so he's just there.
There's no happy ending.
No,
like all those people you grow attached to and culling it.
They were a dream.
They were all a dream, and it's so brilliantly well done. It was so weird. I was like, I love this game. Breath of the Wild is probably the perfect person to start with Zelda.
Yes.
It captures like every essence of Zelda in every way, shape, or form.
Do you think that Breath of the Wild is the convergence of all the timelines as well? That theory of like where all 3 of the timelines converge and become Breath of the Wild. Yeah,
I think so.
I think that too because like it makes the most sense to me.
I'm inclined to believe that we are going to get the Wind Waker remake or remaster and the Twilight Princess remaster and everything on the
crossed,
Switch.
Legend of Zelda fans.
Yeah, I feel like we're gonna get those on the Switch before they do Breath of the Wild 2. I feel like that's the logical thing, and then it just kind of closes.
More things to add to the list to buy.
It just closes off the thing, and then it kind of.
Well, you can at the moment with the expansion pass on Nintendo, you can play Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time, right?
Right. If you have that N64 pack,
which I do because I'm a part of a family plan with some friends.
Oh,
yeah. I pay now about $10 a year.
Majora's Mask is a great game, but it's more difficult. It's one of the more difficult ones because there's a time element to it that you're kind of pressured to figure out. That's the element of that game is time. Like you have so much time to do this or else the world ends.
Yeah.
So
is Majora's Mask the one with the weird moon, or is that
that's the moon? The comet. The comet's going to crash into, or the moon's going to crash into the village
moon with the weird face.
Yeah, that's a well done one too. That was kind of weird because like that was basically spawned off of Ocarina of Time, and it was done in the course of like a year.
Damn.
Yeah, and it's considered one of the better ones. Like Majora's Mask has a very loyal following. It's not as good as Ocarina of Time, but it has a very loyal following.
I feel like if you encounter a Legend of Zelda fan, they always have one.
Yeah.
They always have one they either they first played or they really encapsulate them into the universe that that's the one for me. That's
It's
the best one
generational too.
Yeah.
It's generational because they're like, oh, Wind Waker's my Link, you know?
Yeah. Because it's similar with Pokemon with me, whereas if someone asked me what my favorite Pokemon game is of all time, I have different answer for different reasons. But the one I always come back to is Gen 2 with Gold, Silver, Crystal, Heart Gold, and Soul Silver because those are the ones that I first played in Pokemon franchise series.
Yeah, and you get captured and you're I'm in all in on this.
I'm all in on it. And then Heart Gold and Soul Silver, in my personal opinion, took those games and made them better and added more features, which is why I always tend to replay them as well. My Soul Silver copy, I must have replayed probably more than a few dozen times.
Very, very few people actually recommend me modern Pokemon games. I very rarely ever get recommended a 3DS one. I always get recommended the DS.
Yeah, if you want a good remake of a Pokemon game, Heart Gold and Soul Silver, you can't go wrong with them. They're fantastic.
Those are the ones I get recommended the most.
I will say Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. It does get a little bit of hate, but there actually are pretty decent remakes of Ruby and Sapphire. They do add more to it, and they allow you more forms because of the new fairy typing and everything. And I feel like the people that forget as well that Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire had a really good post-game story where they link in Rayquaza and Deoxys as well. So because Deoxys used to be an event Pokemon, and then in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire they literally make it an intangible part of the bonus story of the game, which was really cool and had a cool cutscene as well.
I keep forgetting all these Pokemons are remakes of the previous one in some way, shape, or form. I'm God.
Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. Where did that come from? Oh yes, Diamond and Pearl.
I forgot about that whole release, but yeah. A Link Between Worlds is straight fantastic. The music, it's got the familiar Kariko Village theme, and it's just such a well done game. And it was on the 3DS, and I'm kind of bummed that it was just on the 3DS because I feel like this should be on a big.
I mean, there's nothing to say that they can't one day bring it to the Switch via emulation or something, because they've already started doing that with a lot of the older school Nintendo games and consoles. So,
the DS stuff is weird because of the dual screen element. How do we recreate that on the Switch? Which I don't.
Diamond and Pearl. I keep going to Pokemon here, but Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl obviously were originally DS games. So.
And then they rebuilt it, to use one screen.
Yeah. They had to rebuild it to one screen, so it was kind of weird because the games had a feature called the Poketch, which would appear normally at the bottom screen on the DS. So instead, what they did was that they made it a button where it would appear, and then you could do whatever you want with the Poketch.
So I think the only complaints I have about A Link Between Worlds is it feels easier than A Link to the Past did. Because with this one, the element for items in this game is you rent them from the vendor.
Wait, you rent them? You don't buy them?
Yeah, you rent them. So you go and you go to the vendor.
Time limit for the renting?
I'll get you. So you rent it from the vendor, right?
Yes.
And he's I will lend you this for 50 rupees. But the rules are, if you die, the item comes back to me and you have to re-rent it.
Oh, okay.
So
you have to re-rent it every single time, and basically, it's capitalism.
Yeah, he's Tom Nooking it the whole way through.
Damn, Tom.
But it's so interesting because one, I feel it's easier because if I stacked up enough rupees, I can go get all the tools I need. Because before in Zelda's, you get the specific tool in the dungeon to proceed through that dungeon. So if the dungeon required the hook shot, you would find it in the dungeon and use it to finish the dungeon.
Yeah.
Whereas this, I can go to the vendor, get the hook shot, and then go do that dungeon and just breeze through it, or breeze through a lot. It also gives you the ability, because the hammer to take down the tree stumps, and then you can get the giant bombs to take out the big rocks. If you do all that before you tackle the dungeons, you can go find all these heart pieces and all this stuff before you actually even tackle the dungeons.
Okay.
So it's almost like you go in OP, right? But if you screw up and you spent $1,000 on the items and then you die, you're out all those rupees and you got to go get those rupees back and then go to, so there's two ways you could do it. I've been playing the method where I've been getting most of the items and then powering through stuff and finding things and exploring and then tackling the dungeons. But that's, I think, my only complaint. It does feel a little bit easier because you have that ability. But then some of the bosses, it's nowhere near, I don't think it's as difficult as A Link to the Past was. A Link to the Past was hard. If you're doing it without save states, it's hard. And it's
I think if they do bring that over to the Switch, they're gonna have some form of save states, aren't they? Because like there'll be plenty of people complaining.
Yeah. Well, save states, you don't need them in A Link Between Worlds because the save states there are the, what do they call those? The weather vanes with the birds. The bird weather vanes are the save points. So you can find a weather vane, save, and then proceed with the game. Whereas A Link to the Past didn't have any of that.
Okay.
You get to a dungeon, you can choose save and quit, or you die. It'll ask you if you want to save, and then you can go through. But like you're dead already.
Yeah.
And then when you died in A Link to the Past, you either had you couldn't start at the dungeon. You started at like the house, or you started at a certain point in the game. You had to travel back like on foot to the dungeon.
So there was a whole point where you had to like go all the way back to the dungeon, then do the dungeon again and get all your items and stuff like that.
Yeah, like dying sucked in A Link to the Past, especially how far if you got far, it sucked if you died.
Damn.
You know what other game sucks if you die? Metroid Dread.
Here's the thing. I've had Metroid Dread since Christmas. I've not started it yet.
Do you like Metroids? Have you played a bunch of Metroids?
I've never played Metroid before in my life. This will be my first one. So, like, I'm totally going into probably one of the hardest ones, aren't I?
It's hard. It's Dark Souls. It's Dark Souls meets Metroid.
Well, this is the thing. I'm a Soulsborne player. I've played all the Soulsborne games, Bloodborne twice.
This is perfectly up your alley.
Yeah.
This is perfectly up your alley. It's classic 2D style Metroid, but there's a Dark Souls element to it where you have to parry perfectly. If you don't parry perfectly, you're dead, and then it'll send you back to a far point region in the game if you didn't find a save point. And then you got to travel back, and then...
Have you actually beaten it then? Have you beaten Metroid Dread?
No. Metroid Dread's kind of like the third on my list right now. It's kind of like my portable game, but it was my main portable game until A Link to the...
Did you by chance get the Switch OLED when the Dread came out? Because it came out at the same time, roughly, didn't it?
I didn't buy the OLED because I had bought the one just like a couple months before.
Oh.
And I was like, God damn it.
Damn it. They had to announce this.
Do I need another? Like, do I need to buy another Switch? And I feel
I need to spend $300 on a new one.
Well, see, I don't have the pandemic to back me up because when I bought the other one, remember, Switches were hard to find.
Yeah.
I put my old Switch on eBay. As soon as I bought the new one, I put my old Switch.
How much did you get for that? How much did you get for it?
I was very generous, and I put it up for the standard use price. I think I put it up for $250. Actually, I might have put it up for $275 because I had the glass protector on it and everything already. Right. So I put it up for $275. I got up out of my chair, went to get a drink from the kitchen, came back, and it was already sold.
Jesus.
Yeah, it literally was on the market for 30, 40 seconds.
Damn.
And then I was like,
basically like scalpers taking up all the PS5s and GPUs back in the pandemic days.
Which was what's crazy. Shit. That's what I didn't want to over-charge for it. I didn't want to charge 300 something for 350 or whatever what the going rate was. I was like, I'm going to be a nice guy, spread good karma, and I'm going to sell this for what I feel the going rate is. Right? $275 I felt was fair with the screen protector, and it was in very, very good condition. So I sold it for $275. Yeah, it lasted 40 seconds on the market. And I was like, God damn. Okay, packed it up, shipped it out. I even had the box. Damn. So, and then that covered the Switch because I paid $3 something for the new Switch. So $25 out of pocket?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was not a big deal. I just needed to cover the cost, which now I'll have a hard time selling the older Switch because everyone would rather have an OLED.
Yes, because the new shiny screen everyone wants.
Yeah.
And a better battery life, I think.
Yeah, it's better bet. I'm going to wait. I'll wait till the new Switch comes because, like I said, it's getting long in the tooth.
I think I'm going to wait until my Switch starts showing signs that it's, dying, and then I'll probably buy a new one. I'll wait till the news. I'm going to guess they're going to call it the Super Nintendo Switch, and then we'll get that.
Super Switch?
Yeah, I think that's what's going to be the title of the new like version of the Switch, like the new hardware upgrade Switch. It'll be called the Super Nintendo Switch or something.
But yeah, you need Metroid Dread is definitely up your alley. It is Dark
It's
Souls
on my
meets Metroid.
to-do list along with a lot of other games that I got for Christmas and birthday.
How do you like? Do you have like a main portable game and then you have like one like a main like console game or PC game that you do?
I've
do
got
one of
my,
each.
DS Lite right here. I've been playing on a cartridge which I will not name because I might get in trouble, but it's a cartridge.
Oh, it's a Nintendo.
It's something that's, let's just say,
Still special.
I got a long time ago that I've still worked to this day.
It's a still special. It's a still special game.
Yeah.
But yeah, I usually play one portable and then one
Yeah.
console or PC game. Like I have main one. Like so, The Link Between Worlds is my main console one, and I'll breeze through this. Then I'll go back to Metroid. But yeah, Metroid Dread is full on Dark Souls Metroid.
On this one, I think I played Mystery Dungeon Explores the Sky Pokemon, which is like if you're not familiar with that game, by far my second favorite spin-off Pokemon game. Like full on dungeon crawler. It's a full on dungeon crawler Pokemon game. I replay it like once a year because it's fantastic. It's literally like the first Pokemon game that actually made me cry at the end.
I think what the good people community needs from you, Dell.
Yep.
I think we need your ranking of Pokemons from best to worst.
Oh, I'm gonna have to think about that.
Oh yeah, no, you think about like you take a piece of paper, you write it out. You probably have to play them over again and then make a video about it and be like, "This is the one I think is the best."
That's a video idea, actually. Yeah,
that's a very damn good video idea.
Hang on, I have to write that down somewhere.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. We would love to hear what your rankings of Pokemon are, best to worst or worst to best.
Yeah, I gotta write that down in a notepad there because
it's a brilliant idea. And then
best to worst Pokemon games.
Because obviously there's going to be ones in your head that you know are just awful, and you know there's going to be ones that are amazing, and you know where to kind of put them. And then it's the middle ones that you have to figure out. Is this one really better than this one, or da-da-da? You know.
I think you probably can already guess my absolute favorite one.
Right.
But like, here's the thing as well with Pokemon games. I don't tend to, even the ones that I don't like, I don't tend to say very bad things about it because I feel like I'm quite a sucker for Game Freak and Pokemon. Like,
you got to take that thing out. You got to take.
I know. I need to take that thing out and actually analyze each game for like good things and bad things. You know, whether they have a national dex or don't.
And then you got to take those things out and be like, because every company has ups and downs. So we would love to see that list.
Portable game that's are we talking off stream or on stream?
In general, because I know you stream a lot, but like, so I guess for you, off stream would be like your own personal.
Yeah, so off stream, I recently finished up a replay through of Sonic Adventures 2 that I've not played that game in such a long time.
We were talking about Sonic last week, and I was like, we were talking about Mega Man. I was like, I feel like Mega Man has turned into Sonic. I don't know which games are good anymore.
Dude. Did you see the recent Nintendo Direct Mini they did?
Where they're doing the Battle.net?
Yeah, Battle Network. I played the shit out of the Game Boy Battle Network game. I did. I used to own the cartridge, but I lost it, and I'm like, shit.
You're all excited now?
I'm getting that entire bundle pack.
See, I don't know which Mega Mans. I don't know which Mega Mans are good anymore. Like, I don't know which one to buy. It's the same with Sonic.
Was pretty good.
I don't know which Sonic to buy.
Honestly, with Sonic, it's a coin flip at this rate. You just gotta flip the coin and just say, okay, let's go into this. Sonic Adventures 2 is my all-time favorite Sonic game. Always has been, always will be.
Is that what generation is that one?
That is the GameCube game. It came. I played it. I actually still own the original GameCube game as well. Like, I still own the original GameCube game. It's in its own little box as well. Like it got in original packaging. Sonic Adventures 2 game. I played the PC version though. Just like see how the PC version goes. Word of advice: don't play mouse and keyboard because
no. It sucks. Get a controller.
I used the PS4 controller instead. That worked a lot better with Steam. It was good, honestly, to replay that game because I haven't played it in like 15, 20 years at this point. The reason why is that a coworker of mine, she's a big Sonic fan, like a massive, massive Sonic fan, and is super looking forward to like Sonic Frontiers coming out. So I talked like a lot of her about Sonic games.
Frontiers the one? Memes. Is Frontiers the one that has like all the old stuff?
Frontiers is basically Sega's answer to Breath of the Wild. That's what I say. Yeah.
Okay, I gotta watch the video on that one.
It's an open world Sonic game with it being set on an island with weird futuristic technology, and the main villain is called Sage, I believe. That's the name of the villain.
No Dr. Wily. Not Dr. Wily. What's his name?
Well, Dr. Robotnik, they have said that he's going to be in it, but he's going to be stuck in cyberspace, apparently.
Is it going to be Jim Carrey?
No. It's going to be the classic voice actor for Robotnik, obviously, not Jim Carrey.
I want Jim Carrey.
Okay, Jim Carrey did a good job. Yes, he did a fantastic job with Robotnik in the first and second movie especially.
Jim Carrey is now the definitive Dr. Robotnik. Don't take that away from us.
I want to see fat suit Jim Carrey Robotnik. Okay, sue me.
It's not in this. I didn't see the second movie, so don't spoil it. But he's not. He's not fat.
But he has said that he wants to do that if he does the third one.
Please do the third one. I will see fat Jim Carrey. I will be there opening night.
Not only that, there's actually an Easter egg of it as well in the movie. So you gotta watch the second movie. There's an Easter egg of Fat Suit Robotnik.
Is that on what's it called yet? Is that on VOD or whatever?
I think it's on digital release, but I don't know if it's on a streaming platform. I don't know like
when it's released.
It could be on Paramount Plus.
We'll rent it. If it's on Paramount, I'll get a Paramount subscription. I just want to see fat Jim Carrey
because I think it's Paramount that made the movie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm ready.
Paramount Plus.
I'm good.
Yeah. So
I'm ready
Sonic
for that.
Frontiers is basically going to be Breath of the Wild Sonic. That's basically
for it. I like the initiative. I'm for it. Other than that, I've been playing some Doom 2016. I don't know why I put 16.
Ooh, Doom 20. Oh, I love those games so much.
It's good. It's really, really good.
It's so good.
I'm feeling a little bit of the repetitiveness of it. Like, so it's kind of draining a little, but do you have Doom Eternal as well? I bought that one too.
Doom Eternal, man.
Is that the better game?
That's the better game in my personal opinion.
Do I need to play 16? Do I need to finish 16 to understand?
Definitely
Eternal?
finish 2016 because it will continue the story and get straight into Doom Eternal. Doom Eternal, it takes what they did in the first game. They make it more arcadey, more arcadey style Doom, like back when it used to be a bit more arcadey, like a modernized arcadey Doom game. They add a bit more lore to it as well. Like there's some more lore into the Doomslayer himself.
It's so dark. I play it with the
music.
light. Oh, the music, dude! It's so classic.
The music's so fucking good. It slays every. Mick Gordon is an absolute genius with like the Doom soundtrack.
I want to hear. I don't know. We hadn't paid close attention to it, but I was listening to a different podcast, and someone had asked what sound in video games do they remember the most, and they know exactly where it's from. And the person on the podcast said the Doom shotgun, that that clunk. I don't know if that's
the Doom shotgun, and followed by the only thing they fear is you.
Yeah, that.
Holy fuck!
It's just a loud thunk, like you hear, like it's like hell's coming. Yeah. Doom was such a classic game. We were talking about this when we did the first episode with Hannah, and Hannah was talking about how her dad let her play Doom. And I was like,
how old was she when she played Doom?
She was like a kid, like a little kid. And I'm like, your dad literally
to a kid.
Yeah, your dad literally let you play the most violent video game at the time. It was more violent than Mortal Kombat, and because the chainsaw, you had the Doom chainsaw, and but yeah, Doom is it's so reminiscent of the original one.
It really does like pay homage to the original and modernizes it. That's why it's so good. Anyone's like a classic Doom fan, new Doom fan, it's for everyone basically.
Yeah, I'm gonna go through Eternal also and get this because they're not very long. They're only like 15 to 20 hours. So
the thing is also Doom Eternal. It's also in batshit crazy. The lore. It's so batshit crazy. It works.
I'm
in my personal opinion.
But yeah, such a well done. I can't believe I waited so long for that.
A recommendation I have for you, Eric. Once you play Doom Eternal, full game plus DLC content, because there are 2 DLC contents that come with Doom Eternal. Watch a YouTube channel, a review channel of a YouTuber that I recently watched called Maxor. He's done quite a few like review videos and incorrect summary videos of certain games. His content is, how do I describe his content? His content is basically like watching a game review video on LSD.
What? Okay, I'm in. What's that? I'm gonna put this in the notes here. What's that guy's name?
Maxor, MAAX0R.
Okay.
He's also done he recently did an incorrect summary of Elden Ring. The funniest video I've ever watched on his channel.
Me and Pal have been really getting into girlfriend reviews on YouTube.
Oh, that's so cute.
Have you ever seen one of her?
I've watched a few of her videos.
She is so talented in terms of like humor and wit. I would like to get her on like Good People with Hannah or Eric and Hannah or something like that and talk to her because she has just this unique way of like looking at it from this perspective. Like, I'm watching my boyfriend play this game.
I mean, girlfriend reviews. If you're watching right now or you're listening right now, come and join Eric and Hannah.
Yeah, we'll see. Or like get her on here for one of them. Like, I'd love to have a podcast with her. I'm gonna reach out. I'll see what happens.
See, you never know until you try.
So much. Her content is so good. But yeah, I'm on the PC dooming it with the lights off and the headphones on and.
Oh, imagine if you could can you set up like background lights as well so that change with the game as well? I've seen that. That looks really cool.
I wonder if I don't have the Philips Hue. I have the Seglin system, but I wonder if it'll let me do it. If not, I'll buy a
cool.
Philips Hue was so expensive. I couldn't it was $200. I couldn't justify the cost.
No, I know. It's just like it sounds really cool. I've seen like videos of people who like set up the lights that change with.
I want to do it for the TV. Like, I want to do it for the TV. And then you can't see it, but like, well, maybe if I turn that direction. So like my records are over in that little cubby hole there, that cubby area.
No, the classic ones.
Yeah. So like I was going to put the lighting strip in the cubby, like along the edge of the cubby wall. And I was wondering if I can get the lighting system to go when I listen to record. We'll find out. I'm going to look into this.
Give it a test drive.
Let's see what happens. Worst thing can happen is I wasted money, right? Yeah, who knows? Dill, you want to fucking Philips Hue that didn't work?
I want whatever works.
I just give it to Pal. I give Pal a lot of like stuff. Pal's gotten so many like sets of headphones and stuff from me.
So do you get like is Pal getting all your hand-me-down headsets? And is that what you're saying?
It's not like I'm giving her cheap shit. Like I replaced the Corsair ones. Mm-hmm. And then I gave her the old ones because she like was good. We were playing on the PlayStation, so she put the little thing in the PlayStation, and then she used that. So I gave her those. I got newer Bluetooth headphones, so I gave her the old set and stuff like that. And like, yeah, she gets some hand-me-downs, but the PC stuff was totally like she wanted her own stuff. Oh, yeah. She wanted her own keyboard. She wanted to pick her own mouse.
Can I ask a question about the keyboard and mouse?
Yeah.
Are they RGB or are they like a bit more styled differently?
No, she bought the keyboard was a gift from me for her birthday, and it was a Royal Kludge mechanical keyboard. Yes, it has RGB, but it's not like overly
RGB
elaborate.
All the way.
Yeah, she has an RGB like mechanical Bluetooth keyboard. And then when we built the PC, she wanted a mouse. And then she bought the same one I did, which is the Corsair. Like, I think this is
dude. I recently upgraded my mouse because my old one broken. I've got if I can get it up.
Damn. Oh yeah, the Logitech. Is that the Pro Lightspeed Pro?
G502. It's the Gaming Pro one.
Yeah.
It's the wired one, not the wireless one, because I prefer wired.
Yeah, Pal wanted wireless because she also has like a dock for her laptop for when she does schoolwork. Yeah. So one was Bluetooth, one is
I will USB. Yeah, I will say this. My keyboard could probably do with an upgrade because I'm still using like the very old Logitech keyboard because I haven't found a keyboard preference that I'd like to replace the one I currently have.
Keyboards are a hard thing. Like you need the sound, and I'm one of those ones where like I bought into the whole Corsair thing, and I like having everything on one piece of software.
Right.
Like fans, keyboard, mouse, heads, all of it's under one software. I don't like having 50 different.
Is your keyboard the full keyboard, or is it like 60% or something?
Mine is it's called the TK. It's a TKL, which is 10 keyless. So I think it's 70%.
70%. Right.
Yeah, it's 10 keyless.
So have you not got the extra keypad then? Like the one with the old numbers and the arrows?
No, I had my old one. My old K70 was that full thing, and that thing started to take a shit. So I did replace it. And but I got a 10 keyless. It took some getting used to not having the 10 key, but you get around it. The one I don't think I could really make the jump to was the 60%. The real small ones, because like I don't have the patience to like set up all those short keys and like function shortcuts.
I'll have to send you a meme that Linus Tech Tips like sends out about like keyboards.
That's another one on my bucket list I would love to talk to.
Linus Tech Tips, I thought so.
Not just from his technology, but I think his idea, like how he runs a business, like his business.
I feel like you two would just talk about nothing but technology for like the entire day as well.
Well, that's the funny thing about Linus is like Linus is so technological, like he's pretty technologically inclined, but I think I'm more intrigued by the way he's just managed to turn his business into this like nerd. Like now he's full on in on merchandising. And he's like shifted to this whole like nerd merchandising that's actually like tasteful.
Yes.
Like the t-shirts and the hoodies and everything look tasteful designs. It looks mature and all that. Like he's actually really brilliant at what he does. He's built his thing up to where he doesn't necessarily need YouTube to thrive, you know?
No, he has his like own business set up, and he literally like his YouTube's basically one income that he has from like multiple sources now, and he works with like top like computer companies and everything like that.
He's like the face of the. He's like a face of the bit, like the. What is it? The community. Like he's the face of the community. Like the. Community, he's like the face for all those community managers. Oh, let's talk to Linus, that are like Logitech and all them. They all send him stuff. It must be nice. But to his credit, he worked very, very hard, and he took a lot of risk. He took a lot of risk. If you read his guy's story and stuff, like he took a lot of gambling and a lot of risk. And the people that went along with board, they all took risks too, like huge risk. So absolutely, and it paid rewards. Good for him.
It did. It really did.
On that note, we're going to go ahead and we're going to take a break, and then we'll get into some of the news here. So I'm going to go ahead and put us in a break. We'll put the home screen up. I'm going to go use the restroom, get a refill. You know, if you need to do the same, feel free. We'll go into break mode. The stream will still be live. Feel free to put stuff in the chat here. We'll acknowledge you. And then we'll look over some of the comments. So we will be back shortly. This is Good Friends, Good Games, and we'll be right back. All right, everyone, welcome back. Good Friends, Good Games. We have talked about all these games we're playing. Dill has joined us today and shared his Pokemon expertise.
Expertise.
You're an expert at it. You're going to be the...
I'm not an expert. I just have the experience. That's all it really is. I mean, it's like you like Zelda. I could probably like ask you a Zelda question. You have like an insane amount of knowledge into it.
I'm okay, but the one that has all the answers is Zenith.
I know that Zenith has like the encyclopedic knowledge, but I could probably ask you a simple question about it.
Yeah, Zenith knows every game inside and out, and then he played every randomizer in existence. Zenith is a special breed of human, which... He'll be with us on the next one. Hopefully, I don't think he has anything scheduled. But yeah, he's got the day off. Again, if you're just catching in right now or just coming in on stream, Leshki is out sick, and then Hannah is currently on a leave. And then Zenith had the day off. So it's me and Dill holding down the fort today. So there's a bunch of gaming. I don't know if it's a bunch of gaming news, but there's some gaming news and stuff that rolled out this. I like how you just pulled up I know you pulled up the document because your face just went
My eyes.
This is like womp.
Is there dark modes for Google Docs? Do you know if there is?
I believe there is, but
it probably is. I feel like I need that because like either that or I need better lighting.
Yeah, I think there's I'll find out for you, but I believe there is a dark mode. I'm gonna guess it's under view. Mode. Oh, yeah, no, I don't see it. I'm sure it's there.
It's probably somewhere on
It's
here.
somewhere there. But let's see. Let's go through some of the news here. Okay, so this was earlier in our news cycle. For those that don't know, this show is bi-weekly, so some of this stuff might seem slightly outdated, but it's new news to our discussion here. Did you hear about the Final Fantasy XIV billboard?
I did not. I'm surprised that one of my friends, Tasting Kitty, didn't tell me about this because he's a huge Final Fantasy fan, especially 14. He's like massively into it and wants me to be a part of it because he wants more friends to play with.
So, the one person that is an expert on this actual particular topic right now is not here. Hannah is actually very ingrained in the Final Fantasy XIV club scene. If you haven't heard about this yet, there is in Final Fantasy XIV, people can buy plots of land and build houses, right? People build these big houses and they actually host nightclubs in them.
That's cool.
Yeah, so like there's DJs on Twitch that will DJ these Final Fantasy XIV clubs and then stream it on Twitch. And then, people, Hannah's so ingrained in this. Like, Hannah becomes a whole different person. Her and Dustin go in and they party and all that kind of stuff. I'm waiting for Hannah's little Final Fantasy XIV character to get caught doing coke in the bathroom and all that kind of stuff.
Won't surprise it'll happen one day, honestly.
Yeah, just
it won't be called coke, though. It'll be called something like spice or something, won't it?
Spice, snorting the spice. But it's so wild. And I'm like, Hannah, you're out of control, girl. You need to slow down. You're living life way too fast. She's just like sitting at a computer.
I'm living my life, okay?
But it's wild. There's a pool party one she was at, and it's so cute. Her and Dustin get little outfits. Hannah had a little Final Fantasy XIV bathing suit. They're at a pool party and all that kind of stuff. But it's a whole scene. There's literally a
I just scrolled down this article. And I just see this poster that someone's posted with I can't remember the character from Final Fantasy 15, the protagonist's name. Noxus, I think it's called.
I haven't played 15
and it just says sex. Now that I have your attention, sex.
That was part of the critique of this whole billboard. Okay, so those that don't know, there's a club called Rain Nightclub that is hosted on Final Fantasy 14. They have purchased 4 billboards in the cities of Texas and California, and I'm going to guess much metropolitan markets like Los Angeles and Austin and stuff like that, to advertise their event, which included modded outfits and use of Final Fantasy XIV logo. That's a big no-no.
Yeah.
If you look at the picture here, there is a banner, like the billboard, and there's the Final Fantasy XIV logo right in the corner. You can't do that.
Yeah. No, it's copyright infringement, isn't it?
You can't do that. There's a whole thing that, it had the Discord channel, everything listed, the sponsors of the event, these DJs that were going to do this event and stream it on Twitch. It was basically like Final Fantasy XIV Coachella, So nightclubs and parties, we've talked about this, are common events in this game with DJ sets on Twitch. And the issue with this here, I think, is one was the use of the logos, and 2, Rain Nightclub is actually known for not safe for work content.
Oh.
And their thing is they list, according to the article here, Eurogamer, lists erotic roleplay services on its website. Yeah.
Is this when Final Fantasy 14 gets NSFW?
Which I would imagine this has been around for ages. EverQuest, World of Warcraft. I'd imagine this stuff was going down, Yeah. And I don't know how, but the Rain Nightclub group claims it's not an infringement due to this license. The club makes no money or profit. I'm not gonna buy it. You're still using it. I don't think it's the fact that the using the logo is a no, but it's the not safe for work content that's going to not sit well. Here's the quote. So what if we made the billboard? You don't have to look at it. Someone asked in the chat, is this just the Playboy Mansion but a Final Fantasy version? It's a nightclub. So it's like
it's a nightclub.
It's just a virtual nightclub where you can load your Final Fantasy 14 character into the nightclub, go and party and have a good time. And I'm going to imagine, since it's all done on a Discord server, communication-wise, there's probably some dirty private chat and all kinds of stuff going down, Now, There's a lot of issues with this. The biggest issue I think is underage. Like, underage people go into these things and then they're getting caught in, sex chats and all. Between consenting adults, that's your business. That's fine. That's your business. You do you. Whatever tickles your pickle, right? But it's the concern of like underage kids and stuff going into these things because it's an open thing. It's an open game. So like the underage kids going into these Discord chats, and then there's raunch talk and all this kind of stuff going on. That's not good. That's not good at all. And then I think that's like Square's concern is that this puts a big thing on. It shines an unwanted light on a community that's not necessarily the majority of it. You know what I mean?
No.
This is obviously a subset of like the culture of this game. This is a small subset. There's not very many people out there doing this. In the sense of like, the not safe for work content. It's the stuff I see at conventions and stuff is just wild in terms of costumes and all of this kind of stuff. Some of this shit, it's barely their clothing, but they paid thousands of dollars, which I'm going to guess is tens of thousands of dollars, because if you get a billboard in LA, it's expensive.
According to the message, it says $12K.
$12K, tens of thousands of dollars. So yeah, that's a lot of money. Now, I guess the question is, you think they're going to get sued over this thing?
I think they might get a slap on the wrist. I don't think they'll get sued because I don't know if they actually knew what they were breaking the law or anything. So. Right.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where it's like, I don't think they're gonna get a hard slap on the wrist. They're getting a cease and desist saying, take this shit down now.
They're going to, yeah. They're gonna get a cease and desist. They might get a fine as well. They might get fined something, and then that'll be it.
Yeah, like don't do this,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Channels will probably be banned as well for a set period of time.
Yes, it looks like, according to the article here, the Discord's been removed and the invite link from the billboard's been taken down or been taken by a parody server, and the nightclub website's been temporarily turned off. I wonder if the website's still up now as of this time. Oh, yeah, it says, stay tuned, temporarily turning this off till things calm down. So until we're out of the loop.
Until we're not in trouble anymore.
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
I kind of wish Hannah was here for this discussion because it'd
be great.
Her concerns about the whole thing was like her concerns were trolling. Like this thing's now out in the mainstream. People are going to see this, pay $15 and then start jumping into the game and start trolling people and just creating a toxic culture, which happens.
Like, I have hope. Final Fantasy 14 is quite big. It's yet to get as toxic as like World of Warcraft or anything like that, but it probably has a few toxic fans in there.
I mean, this game's already gone into like the stratosphere now after some of the big Twitch streamers started playing it after World of Warcraft kind of, shit the bed.
Yeah.
But that's Final Fantasy 14 nightclubs for you. Hopefully, I don't want to see anyone get sued into oblivion. Like,
no.
I don't think they were trying to do anything like scammy or nefarious with this thing, Like, I don't think they were trying to be malicious is the correct word. I don't think they were trying to be malicious with it. I think they were just trying to advertise a good time and make some kind of event or whatever, but the response wasn't good. But that's
no
Final Fantasy 14 nightclubs. Apparently there's not safe for work content in some of them. We got some news out of Ubisoft here.
Ubisoft.
Ubisoft has decommissioned downloadable content for a number of games. There's kind of like a two-piece thing to this. So, as of this article, this one's out of ARS Technica.
Yeah.
DLC you purchase may soon be completely unplayable.
Ooh.
So they have a list of games here. These are older, like I guess quote unquote legacy Ubisoft games. Assassin's Creed 3. Now keep in mind, I'll explain this here. This is the original release of Assassin's Creed 3.
Like full on original game release before
the remaster
ported over to different places.
Yeah. Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, Driver San Francisco, and then we got Far Cry 3, Prince of Persia, and Silent Hunter 5. So installation and access to these downloadable contents will be unavailable on PC versions from the following games, and that's the list as of September 1st, 2022. So that means if you purchase DLC for these games, no matter what, that downloadable content is no longer accessible for these particular versions of these games.
Ooh.
The DLC console version, this is for PC. The DLC console versions of these games, though, that's administered by the console platform. So like the PlayStation Store, I don't know, what's the Xbox one called? The Xbox Store, whatever.
Xbox site, I don't know.
Yeah, I know it's what PlayStation Store, and then I don't know what the Xbox one is. But those respective platforms that handle and distribute the games on their platforms, this is being handled by them, and not the Ubisoft PC Uplay platform. So if you're on console, you seem to be okay.
It's the PC players that have to worry.
Right. If you're a PC player that owns the original version of this game. According to the article here, they have some re-releases for Assassin's Creed 3, which I think was the Assassin's Creed 3 remaster or whatever they called it, and then Far Cry 3 was available on PC in a remastered re-release. Those versions are not affected by the server shutdown, so you had to buy the new versions and you're okay. Now here's the second piece of this, and this whole, I think this was just a big mix-up, but the Steam version of Assassin's Creed Liberation, which was originally, I think, a PSP title or a PS Vita title, it got booted. Yeah. It got booted from the Steam store just days after it was on sale on the Steam sale.
Oh, that's gotta be bad.
So like it wasn't playable.
No.
And no longer accessible. Now, an update on this article shows that they have fixed it and only the downloadable content has been removed.
Okay.
So we talked about this on the last show. I think it was the first episode when the whole crew was here. And we talked about this as like, we're working towards this era of the digital storefront, which is pretty much here and now. Like it's the way to do things now. How do you feel about this whole thing? Like purchasing something and then them having the ability to take it away. What's your take on it? Because I don't think I've ever asked you this question.
Well, I'm trying to fit. I understand that they are trying to update like their servers all like constantly, and they're trying to get rid of old content that's holding them back. But like, I don't know. I feel like they should create some kind of like legacy server which would allow you to like access these titles whenever you feel like it, like the original releases of these titles. Honestly, like they should have their own little separate like section of like the world.
Right. I see what you're getting at.
Yeah. It's kind of a weird one where it's just, I mean, you got Assassin's Creed on there as well, and I used to be a big Assassin's Creed fan, so it's like, yeah.
Do you own any of these by chance? Like, do you own any of these on PC?
I own, not on PC, I own 3 and Brotherhood on PS3,
okay.
I think. Somewhere, I've got them somewhere.
See, even that's questionable. Like, because the PS3 infrastructure is slowly being removed.
I think they said that PS3 servers are going to be like they've closed down the PS2 ones. That I know that.
Right.
PS3 will probably be next.
I think the PS3 stuff will just be up to verify license. That's pretty much it. You won't be able to download from the stores or any of that anymore, I don't think. And that's going to go.
So I think PS3 will be the next.
This is where the stuff gets difficult. So the idea obviously is because to maintain the infrastructure of those old releases, the original Assassin's Creed with the DLC content being separate, there's a cost factor in there. They have to pay to keep the server up and running. They have to pay the, I'm going to assume it's AWS, transfer fees and data fees and bandwidth and all that. They're going to have to pay to maintain that. Which, if you have remasters of this game that are out, so like Assassin's Creed, remastered collector's edition. This is the thing that I think they probably should do then. If this is the case, they should probably offer the remastered versions to them for like either free or for a small fee. That's what I was getting at. If the whole point is, okay, you want to remove these legacy versions, you need to give me access to the other ones. It seems fair. I've paid for this game once. It doesn't necessarily seem fair. Unless there's a significant increase in content, it doesn't seem fair to just knock it out and then make me go buy it again. No. That's what I think should happen. And it happens with Steam. Like, I think Mafia did it. I had a couple of the Mafia games that were the original releases, and I got the definitives as an instant upgrade.
I just had a thought as well, because technically I didn't upgrade my version of Dark Souls to the remastered version. I still had the Prepare to Die edition version of the game, because I didn't want the remastered at all of Dark Souls, because apparently it was shit.
Yeah.
So
now that's the other side of the coin, though, is like, is the Assassin's Creed 3 remaster really better than the original game? We saw this with the Grand Theft Auto definitive stuff. We all saw what disaster that was, right?
Sorry, you know? every time I just someone mentions that, I immediately laugh.
Yeah, no, that was a disaster.
Yeah, that was bad. They literally they took off the original ones and then within a week brought them back because of like how many complaints they got.
So there's that whole issue. So like, is Assassin's Creed 3 remaster really, better than the original release? And are you going to force me to play the superior version?
Yeah.
That I do think it should be just upgraded. I think they should just give it.
There should be an option for them to upgrade before like the end time comes, and they should make sure that people know about it. Otherwise, there'll be people who will like go, "Well, you didn't tell me about this."
Right, and then just to remove it from the store, I would be pissed if I bought it on a Steam sale for $10
just
or whatever.
Quietly removing it from your type Steam library, just like, what the
days
fuck
later,
go?
What the hell happened? And then this presents the argument for like physical. Like, you can't take my physical games. What people fail to seem to realize is that everything up from the 360 on, so we're talking like Xbox and PlayStation 4 on, all the disc does is verify the license.
Yeah.
That's all it does.
It verifies that you own the disc so you can own the game.
Right. Play the game. There's nowhere that it says that they could turn that server off and then you have a stack of discs that are useless.
I have a lot of discs as well.
Me too. So it's kind of like this thing where it's like, I understand the concept you want to own the physical. Now, Nintendo Switch is a little bit different because that game's actually on that cartridge.
Yeah.
But disc-wise, it's usually just verifying a license. And here's the thing. When I go on the Steam and I buy all these games on Steam, I don't know about you personally, but I know for myself, when I buy these games, I know there's a risk that they can take it away.
Yeah.
That's why I don't spend, hundreds of dollars on these packs, like these $90 Assassin's Creed collections or whatever, like... I just don't do it because
collector's edition of Assassin's Creed with all these things, including the staff and the sword.
Right, and then they take it away. Oh, yeah, well, we don't have that server up anymore.
You took away my sword.
Yeah, he took my sword away. So, like, it's a double-edged sword, and we're going to see this more and more as the infrastructure shifts to digital only, which is gonna happen.
It's gonna happen. It's like probably in the next 10 years, I reckon.
Mm-hmm. You weren't here for that. So it kind of goes into the next topic we're going to talk about here, but like. I think it was Lesky who asked about, or Hannah. Anna asked, like, what do you think physical games are going to be? And I've come to the conclusion is that in, 5 to 10 years, it's not going to be like when you go into your Target or your Walmart or, whatever they have in, UK and you see stacks of the game in the shelf. It's going to be like you go in, there's going to be those collector's editions with the statuettes and all that stuff. And that's how you're going to get your physical game. You want physical? You got to buy this collector's edition. You know what I mean?
I don't know if you're familiar with a YouTuber called Scott the Woz. Do you know
Scott the Woz, yeah.
Yeah, I wonder how much he spends on like all like the games that he gets for his videos. Like the older ones especially, because like he just goes to like bargain bin or something like that and just like get all these like games and stuff just for like the content that he makes.
And it's just, that's the one reason I'm slowly shifting over. Because, like, I live in a studio. I don't have that much space, And then if at some point I do buy a home, where am I going to put, a room of 10,000 games?
Oh, God.
It's like a lot of stuff. Like, why?
It is.
And, so it's like where I can just have it. I did it with books already. I have a Kindle. I get my books on the Kindle. And my book collection is on a tablet that I can keep in my backpack and whatever. I don't have a whole bookshelf full of books anymore. Moving those sucks. Yeah. Like you ever move a stack of books, it sucks. Same with records. Moving records sucks. It's just weight and it's heavy and it's bulky. And I like the less I have to do that, the better. But I think, we're going to see this more and more. They have put it back up on the store. It's $20, the Assassin's Creed Liberation. They fixed that problem, but the DLC is no longer available.
Ooh.
come September 1st. So
Okay.
yeah, that's one of those things. This one, did you hear about the Hideo Kojima thing?
Literally, Kitty would literally like DM me the tweet, and I was like, "Have you seen this?" And I'm like, "What the fuck?"
This is bad. If you really, really think about it, this is bad.
It was.
So, Hideo Kojima is threatening legal action because he was misidentified as the assassin of the former Japanese prime minister.
Yep.
This is kind of complicated, but I thought it was just insane.
He was.
So, Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe died in a hospital after being shot while delivering a speech at a political event. Mm-hmm. This was back on July 11th, give or take. And there was a tweet basically that floated around that compared the shooter to Hideo Kojima, and then it turned into like this trending thing on Twitter, and he was basically being misidentified.
Yeah. It was ridiculous. It was just like, I want to know what Kojima's reaction was to this as well. Like we know he's like pursuing possible legal action.
Yeah, that's possible because this is a serious deal. Like if you're accused of being a murderer, especially to a government, or like a political figure,
a political figure that like been the former prime minister and everything. And everything, like, gee,
yeah, like, and you're accused, you're associated as being the murderer of that. That's insane. That's career damaging. That's life damaging. Like all because misinformation. I'm stumped on this one.
For some reason, also, I feel like it's the Metal Gear Solid plotline too. It feels
it's probably going to be a Metal Gear game, or you're going to be Norman Reedus like walking around with a box to save the prime minister.
Or maybe Hideo's like next game that he's working on with Xbox will literally just be inspired by this.
We were talking about that too in the last episode, where how like that warranted an actual like segment. I'm making a game for Xbox, and then they moved on to the next thing. Like,
I know Xbox, they showed some good things, but that's something that could have been done like a tweet, not like a full.
They had nothing.
Stream. No,
had nothing.
It's just because it's his name, isn't it?
Oh yeah, he's one of the most beloved in the industry.
Yeah, he's one of the most well-known game developers in the industry, and has like made his like reputation. Basically, if it's made by Hideo Kojima, his cult following will be yeah.
I think if you get a game from him, you are getting a work of art. Whether or not you like work of art, that's a different story, but you are getting a work of art. Death Stranding's sitting on my shelf. It's one of those things it's one of my video game dealer conned me into playing.
I've got the director's cut of that on my Steam wish list. I've not picked it up yet.
I picked up the game for like $10 used, so I'm gonna like throw it in and I'm gonna see what it's about, and But yeah, this is a wild one.
It's a wild one.
Let's see here. The tweets were misunderstood by politicians and news outlets to the point where Kojima was misidentified as the assassin. He began trending on Twitter with around 35,000 tweets, many of which warned of the misinformation.
Jesus.
Kojima Productions made a statement on Twitter saying the studio strongly condemns the spread of fake news and rumors that convey false information. The company added, "We will not tolerate such libel and will be considered taking legal action." Yeah, if he suffers from like financial damages from this whole thing, he's going to sue.
He is.
Which
he has every right to do.
Yeah, because it's just wrong. People do stupid stuff on Twitter. They just do stupid stuff on Twitter where they think they're being funny and they're being memey. Yeah. And then, it ruins a guy's life.
The power of memes. I just got a flashback to Metal Gear Rising Revengeance there as well.
This is one of the things like that gets me about video game culture nowadays. It's turning into this meme culture.
The memes.
Like, we just need memes. Memes fuel this culture now. Like, god damn, I just want to play damn video games.
That's how I contact majority of my friends. I meme them until they talk to me.
I mean, that works for you, but we don't need to go meme Hideo so he gets...
No, we don't need to meme Hideo into possibly being an assassin. Like,
we don't need to meme anybody into, like, someone being potentially a criminal.
No. Jesus. What we're saying here is meme responsibly.
Meme responsibly. Or don't do it at all.
All that.
How do you feel about GameStop, Dill? Eh?
I mean, I've never really been in a GameStop. We have the version.
Oh yeah, do you
in
guys
the
have
UK
like your
called-
own thing?
We have one just called Game. That's it. Just called Game. Probably
Game.
owned by the same company as well, but like, yeah, it's just called Game.
What's the website in the UK?
I think it's game.co.uk. That's it.
Game. That's
That's literally what it's called. It's just called Game.
it
That's
literally
it.
just says game.
Just called Game. I know. It's a simple but effective name.
That's amazing. Game.
Yeah. Game.
Game exclusives. Games you might have missed. Double Masters. Out now. Game exclusive. That's funny.
Yeah.
Game. But, okay, so, well, obviously we have GameStop.
Yeah.
GameStop has fired its CEO and announced layoffs and his aggressive turnaround plan. So I don't know if you've heard about this before, but GameStop is trying to get into this NFT business.
Oh.
Let that groan out. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, carry on.
This came out of CNBC. He joined the group about a year ago, fired because, let's see here. Chief Financial Officer Mike Rucapero and is making staff cuts across the department as part of an aggressive turnaround plan the video game retailer announced.
Okay.
Let's see. Company's chief accountant will become CFO. And someone in the chat here, NFT equals no fucking thanks.
I mean, I prefer the NSFW version, which is like NFTs, nice fucking tits.
Yeah, there you go. That'll work.
Yes.
Layoffs were announced in a memo to employees that were obtained by CNC on the corporate side of the company rather than in the stores, according to a person familiar with the matter, and are intended to reduce bloat.
What?
I don't really know what bloat GameStop has. I mean,
is this because of the whole like Wall Street bets thing or something? Is that what they're saying?
Well, that's what kept GameStop afloat.
Yeah.
The meme stocking of GameStop actually kept them afloat and kept them in business through the pandemic. But now I guess they're taking this money and they're doing it on this surefire bet, which I don't think their CEO has been reading the news, but he's jumping it in on this surefire bet of NFT business.
Which, if you read anything about NFTs, they're dying or they're dead. They are just dead in the water.
Their Bitcoin, all of them have just been tanking. That's why you can get a graphics card now.
Yep. So that's why I saw graphics cards on Amazon for like the retail price.
Yeah. Oh my God. Sorry.
Holy damn.
Oh yeah, dude. The prices just dropped like crazy, and then I jumped in. I finally got one.
You got a 3080.
I got 3080, and I'm quite happy about it.
You finally joined me in the 3080 power,
and it's nice. Everything runs beautifully.
It's
but
so
like,
good.
I don't know what it is with GameStop. Is always like a step and a half behind.
They go one step forward, 4 steps back.
No, they make very few steps forward. That's the problem. By the time
I'm saying.
Yeah,
Like,
by the time they have a plan,
it's like.
By the time they have a plan, it's already an outdated plan. Like, remember when they tried to get into the retro game stuff when it was booming?
No.
This was probably about it's not quite 10 years, probably about 5-6 years ago, maybe a little bit older or further back. They had this whole retro initiative. They were going to they were going to do a whole authentication thing. They had a warehouse where they authenticated everything, and they were going to sell retro games, take retro games in, because retro gaming was big. Nintendo, Super Nintendo, all that stuff was booming, and then they were like jumping in on that boat. But by the time they got involved, it was already on a decline. And then plus, GameStop, I don't think, had the infrastructure to actually properly do it, to authenticate, because there were tons of stories about how fake Pokemon games, fake fake ones were just swimming through popular fake ones like Conker's Bad Fur Days and your Little Samsons, stuff that cost several hundreds of dollars.
Yeah.
Sculptor's Cut, which is Clay Fighter Sculptor's Cut, which is $1,000 game. Like fakes are just getting into GameStop. And because it's not that they don't have the infrastructure, they don't have they don't want to invest the resources to actually properly authenticate this stuff.
Yeah.
They look at it and they're like, oh, that's Pokemon Emerald.
They want to take the lazy approach to it, basically.
Yeah. And they just like, whoever was in charge of that didn't think tons of fake games would go rolling through,
Yeah.
So that thing faltered. And then they wanted to do this whole initiative where they would remodel the stores. They would have like gaming tables where you could play your card games. And then they would have like,
I remember those days.
Display units, like, display units with the chair, like basically like LAN party style. You had your gaming chairs and you had the consoles up on with the monitor. They were trying to do that thing. And then that faltered through. We never saw any like update to that because half of the GameStop footprints are small.
Yeah.
You ever like go to like I'm sure you guys have, but like on the street, like you have like a grocery store or whatever, and in the parking lot there's like the little cigarette booth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, like a little.
I think what we have is we have what we call the cigarette bin. Mm-hmm. And everyone just hangs out around there.
Yeah, it's like a little like storefront it's like basically like, or look like an old photo booth. Like,
yeah,
that's basically what some of these GameStops had, like space wise. Some GameStops are just small. And it's like, well, where are you going to put this stuff? Where do you decide to put this stuff? And then GameStop, closed a bunch of stores. They closed major ones too. They closed one here in Hollywood that was like a major, like huge sized one. Yeah. They closed it down. Probably because the rent was too high and they just didn't see it feasible. So they like kept the ones that were in strip malls and stuff. And now they're on this NFT boat where everything NFT is tanking, and they're like, yeah, this is the route we're going to go. Like, I don't get it. I don't understand it.
They're just gambling at this point. They're just gambling. They're gambling on a losing platform, basically. That's what they're doing. It's just all.
They're in so much trouble. It's. What do you think's going to happen to them? Honestly, what do you think's going to happen?
I'm surprised they haven't already gone busted at this point. The only reason why they didn't because what happened with Wall Street Bets last year or the year before that.
Yeah, kept them afloat.
But honestly, I think they're probably not going to go bust, and then they'll disappear for like 5 to 10 years, and then suddenly they'll make a comeback somehow.
I think that's what it's going to do. Believe. Here's the thing. So like Toys R Us has suffered a fate, right? Toys R Us is gone, and now they're going to have little mini storefronts in like Macy's and major department stores like that, right?
Starting small.
Right, but Toys R Us still has physical product that they can sell. Board games, toys, like GameStop, that physical product is diminishing and disappearing.
Yeah.
They're turning like, I don't know how game is, but like in GameStops, you go to GameStop, it's 75% pops and pop culture stuff, and then the rest 25% is remaining as games.
Well, look, UK ones, they do have more merchandise like plushies and stuff and shirts that you can buy, but like I'd say about 75% of it is games.
See, that's a different thing. You get like it's game related stuff. GameStop is more like become like a nerd boutique.
Yeah, and they also have the booths as well where you can test out the consoles.
See, that could theoretically work. But like, even then you have to look at how game.com is going to survive when the physical stuff is, diminished. Yeah. But like GameStop has built its whole business model on basically being a video game pawn shop where, play the game for a few months, sell it back to them, and then they sell it at an inflated price used. But if that influx goes away, like what are they even going to do? Because they make zilch to nothing on new games. They sell the game for 60 or 70, whatever it is now. They sell the game for the 70. They're making maybe $3. And then that has to go to staff and all that stuff. So pure profit out of it is probably like 50 cents a game if you think about it, Where it's just a matter of time. It's like a cockroach that just doesn't die.
Yeah. Literally a cockroach that's been stomped on, blasted, heated up, nuclear fallout, blasted the whole shebang.
It's just a nuclear fucking cockroach.
Yeah.
And I can't.
Even like Fallout fans would be jealous of that cockroach. Jesus.
I don't get it. I mean, I don't. And part of this is like this. They just don't listen.
No, they don't listen. They don't follow the trend, and therefore they're always like behind on everything.
Like Best Buy has managed to like survive the pandemic stuff. Best Buy has managed to survive against Amazon.
Yeah.
But Best Buy made some changes too, where they started selling more. They started selling more PC gaming content because Office stuff wasn't selling as well. They sell the keyboards, they sell the mice, they sell the printer, or not the printer, but they sell the gaming chair and all that stuff. The streaming section, they have an Elgato section. They embrace the whole TikTok thing where you say in the camera section you can get your ring lights and all that kind of stuff. Like, they're doing what they can to stay afloat. GameStop doesn't do any of this. I'm honestly surprised GameStop hasn't embraced any of that PC culture, at least in terms of accessories. Keyboards, mice, they have a section, mouse pads, stuff like that. Because if anything gaming related that keeps afloat is GameStop, is PC content.
Yeah. And I think even Game in the UK, they do sell some like PC stuff, like they do sell keyboards and like mouses and stuff like that, so you can get them.
The streamer GameStop doesn't even have a streamer section.
No, Game doesn't really have that either, but they have like accessories you can buy for like PC stuff, like PC gaming.
Right. If I was like a GameStop, if I was like in charge of GameStop, I would try to get in on this Twitch and YouTube boat, Twitch merchandise and all that kind of stuff.
Well, didn't GameStop have like a live streaming thing at one point? They did have that, but they abandoned it.
Well, I don't want to necessarily say that was a dumb move, but I don't recall that. I don't.
Well, they had the TV and all that. They had GameStop TV.
Right. That's the that was what Meg was on. That was what Meg was on, and that was more like in-house promotional stuff. Like they would play it on the TVs.
Yeah.
But like, as terms of like streaming like I don't know why I can't go into a GameStop and buy a capture card or buy a graphics card. They have them. You can ask for them, but there's no display of it or anything like that.
No.
PC gaming, surprisingly enough, PC gaming is pretty big in the gaming space now.
Yeah.
More and more people are shifting to it in terms of instead of consoles, and that might even be hurting GameStop a little bit. But you embrace the culture, sell the keyboards, the mice, the goods, get deals with Corsair and all that kind of stuff and get that stuff in the stores,
Yeah.
Because you can only sell so many copies of Madden 2023 or whatever to stay afloat. Madden and NHL.
Sell 100,000 Madden copies of 2033 before the end of the year in order to achieve our goals.
There's only so many copies of Madden and Call of Duty you can sell to stay afloat.
I mean, keep releasing new Call of Duty Madden every year. They'll keep trying to sell them.
If you ran GameStop, like if you ran GameStop, what would you try? What would you do to try and save
I'd definitely try get into the streaming business. That's for damn sure, because it's definitely something that will get the attention of gamers and people who are like interested in video games. I would set up like as I said, the game has a good thing where they set up like test like consoles where you can test out like games and test out how a console feels for people. I'd probably set some of those up because they probably have some like consoles they're not using right now.
Right.
They could like set one of those up in a booth, make sure it's like privately like set up and people can't access it, but can access the controller and be able to play the games and play it on the console and see how they feel with it, because that's a good idea. It's something that's like, gives the people a chance to test out something before they actually buy it. It's one of those things. I would say probably live streaming also, like talking about live streaming, like having their own like Twitch channel, which I think they do actually have, but utilizing that in live streams also could be a good way to like promote the business and also to like promote any kind of games that are coming out as well. Like some they can get in touch with companies.
Yeah, like, maybe, I don't know how well this would work because obviously these places have their own storefronts like Microsoft and Sony. But maybe do like GameStop TV streaming, have interviews with Phil Spencer and all, and like this
bring on
content.
developers, bring on indie companies, like you know.
And promote this stuff. I think the biggest problem GameStop has is they can't. For a company that sells strictly video games, they can't sell the culture.
No.
They can't sell the culture of gamer as well as Twitch and Corsair and all those companies do. Logitech. They can't sell the culture for some reason. You know, power to the players is their slogan, but they cannot sell that culture.
They can't sell the power.
Right. They can't sell the culture. And it's so, I don't understand how. Like, I don't understand how it comes. The only player in the game that does this and they can't do it. You know? Like, it doesn't make sense to me. They're going to be done. Give it time.
Yeah.
This will probably be the nail in the coffin.
I think it'll be like the Phoenix scenario where they'll like burn out. They'll fizzle out for a few years. They'll come back again and try and bring it back like GameStop 2.0, and then they'll burn again.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what's going to happen.
These were your articles, Dill. Nintendo's making some moves here.
Oh, there they are.
Are you excited to see Chris Pratt? Mario. Yeah, that's it. I heard it.
Get me started on that. But yeah, so I put a few articles in here from stuff that I've talked about with my community. So Nintendo's making big news in the animation business, where they've acquired a studio called CG production company called Dynamo Pictures, which they'll be renaming to Nintendo Pictures. Critical listings that they have is like for motion capture work is like Death Stranding, Persona 5, post-production of Metroid Other M, various anime movies as well they've done as well. They've worked on a Dragon Ball Z movie, I think, in the past, and stuff. And yeah, so they're acquiring the studio, and from the looks of it, they're going to be getting into possibly like the the animation franchise, where they're going to start making animated movies and possibly even animated TV shows from some of their IPs, which could be anything like Mario, like Zelda. They could go Kirby if they wanted to. Like, they could take some of their IPs they currently own and they could like turn into full-on animation movies and TV shows. Which, if you're a Nintendo fan and you're a fan of a lot of the IPs that Nintendo has, it definitely will be something that will pique your attention, wouldn't it? Like, Eric, you're a Zelda fan, you're a Mario fan, correct?
Yeah.
Yep. So if they were to make like a Legend of Zelda movie, like an animation movie on like based on one of the games, you'd probably watch that, wouldn't you? If it's done right.
If it's done right. So I think this whole thing, I don't know if it's a smart move, but it's a move that makes sense, obviously.
It's a risky move, but it's something that to definitely get into, especially with, as it says in the article, Sonic the Hedgehog doing really well.
That's the catalyst for this whole thing.
Yeah.
They saw Sega's success with Sonic, and now they're going to want a piece of this. This is why we're getting this
they
Mario movie.
Action. Yeah.
I think, here's the thing. I think Zelda, for some strange odd reason, the only way I see the Legend of Zelda working is if it's done anime style.
Yes,
that's
it can't
the
be done
only
live
way
action.
that's the only way I see it
CW,
working.
do not like come at us. Oh, CW, do not go anywhere near this.
You know, we don't need River Hyrule or whatever. You know, Hyrule Dale.
River of Hyrule, a Legend of Zelda story.
Yeah, we don't need Legend of Riverdale type of stuff. We don't need it. The only way I see Zelda, I don't even think Netflix should be the one to do it.
No, Netflix has been tanking with a lot of their recent things.
They just did that
Cowboy
Resident Evil
Bebop
thing. I just saw the Resident Evil thing. I haven't watched it yet.
I've not watched Resident Evil 1, but what I did is I watched Moist Critical's review of the Resident Evil Netflix series, and he had nothing but bad things to say about it.
I have a hard time believing that's one you can fuck up, because it's all there. There's the lore, there's the story.
That's the thing. The problem with Resident Evil is that they don't use the source material. They just do their own thing.
We don't need to know about Umbrella and what's you know.
Yeah.
We don't need Claire. We don't need what's the other one? What's the one in 4?
The thing is also, like, they made a movie which they released like late last year.
Yeah.
But the problem was that they did too much in that movie, where they basically combined Resident Evil 1, 2, and 3 and made it into a movie, like an hour and a half movie. And I'm just like, That's not gonna work. You gotta make that like a TV series, like minimum. They did that in a TV series.
Resident Evil 2, which is the best, I will say it here and now. Resident Evil 2, the best of the whole series, could be a whole season in itself.
It could be. It literally could. Like the stories from Resident Evil 2, because Resident Evil 2 and 3 interlink with each other.
Right.
You take both of them. Season. That could be a TV series instantly, right there.
What's the first thing? Well, they're obviously going to do Mario.
They're going to do Mario. They could do Zelda.
Zelda needs to be anime, like we talked about. I think that needs to be an anime style.
Kirby. They could do like a Kirby animation movie, perhaps. They could like go there. I'm not sure Kirby could be the top choice since Kirby isn't like a. I don't know how people look like Kirby fans.
I think we're missing the biggest one.
Pokemon.
No, that one's gonna get messy with licensing. The one that they could do that I think would be the most realistic in an animation setting and probably be pretty cool is Star Fox. I feel like Star Fox would be ideal for just an animated series. Like,
what about Captain Falcon as well?
Captain Falcon is doable, but it's kind of like an obscure property where like Star Fox is mildly obscure, but like you have the success of like, Clone Wars and Bad Batch and all of those space type, Star Wars space platform. Like Star Fox could work.
Star Fox could work if done correctly. Yeah,
Star Fox could work. Kirby could definitely be done. Kirby could be a damn kids show and it'd be amazing.
Yeah.
I just want to watch Kirby eat cakes.
No. What we need Kirby, but we need Kirby horror animation. That's what we need to learn the true depths of how like insane Kirby actually is. I've seen the Kirby lore videos. I know that Kirby is a force to be reckoned with.
I would say Metroid would totally work, but they need to
Metroid TV series.
Yeah, but it needs to be in the same realm of like The Mandalorian or one of those where it's just like mysterious, dark,
yes.
And you know what? It would sell like hotcakes because female protagonists are a big deal right now. Female protagonists are just selling like crazy. Yeah, it could be done. Zelda definitely it needs to be like anime based. I cannot sit there and watch, some dude in a green leotard.
Oh god, live action CW series.
No. If they're doing animated, I want to see it. It's got to be Wind Waker. It's got to be Wind Waker Link for an animation thing. We'll see what happens. Honestly, I'm not excited about this Mario movie.
All I can say is that the acquisition will close on the 3rd of October. After that point, we'll have to just wait and see what they decide to do, really. That's all we got to do. Wait and see situation.
This next story is interesting to me, still on the topic of Nintendo here, because it seems to be, like, I don't want to say anti, but it doesn't seem typical of Japanese business culture.
No.
Is the same-sex partners can enjoy the same benefits as employees in an opposite sex relation. I mean, like I said, I'm not saying I'm just. It's surprising to me because of just how traditional they are in terms of business.
It is,
They're very traditional.
I was surprised when they did announce this, and like, Japan is very traditional. And I know that a lot of like, former prime ministers have been very much against, same-sex marriages, and it seems that Nintendo have like grown to a point where they can literally like do their own thing. That's what it sounds like. That's what it feels like to me. This announcement, like the partnership system thing, where they get the same benefits as like opposite sex marriages. This was something that was introduced back in like March 2021, so it's been around for like over a year now. But it only recently came out as an article like showing that Nintendo Japan, recognizes same-sex marriages even if Japan won't. I think Japan eventually, it should do. Eventually, it probably will recognize same-sex marriages for sure. It should do, as it should every country, because same-sex marriages are as equivalent as opposite-sex marriages. And
marriage is marriage, and
marriage is marriage. Yeah.
So this is interesting to me because I think this is obviously within the confines of Nintendo itself. So I imagine this is going to be things like and related to like healthcare. So if you work for Nintendo and you have a healthcare plan, you can now cover your partner. Whereas before you have to like cover, if it was a wife, then yes, you could cover it, or a husband.
Yeah.
So now it's you can cover your partner's coverage. I'm going to assume, this might be reaching or not, but like I'm going to assume if you decide to, have a child through, fertilization or, whatever means, then the leave, maternity leave, etc. That might be in the case, or, parental leave.
Yeah.
This is really, really interesting and like a huge shift in that culture because like it says clearly in the article, the country itself doesn't recognize it.
Yeah, it's the only member of the G7 part, I'd say, that like doesn't legally recognize same-sex marriage. Like, it's the only one.
Although same-sex marriages are not currently recognized under Japanese law, this system ensures employees who are in domestic partnership with same-sex partner have the same benefits as employee and opposite. Yeah, this is going to come down to like insurance coverage, life insurance, that kind of stuff. Common law marriages between couples will be observed the same way as a legal marriage. This is definitely Nintendo. Japan, like I said, is such a interesting place because they're so traditional and they're so ingrained in their culture. But we're also seeing a shift in just demographic of people that are growing, that are aging into that group. Like people, obviously, my age and yourself, are aging into this group where same-sex marriages and all that stuff is a common occurrence and not abnormal. Whereas my parents' era, it was obviously a taboo thing to have. And
now it's because of like how things were back then, because like a lot of
it wasn't talked about. Like I asked my mom about it, and like that stuff just wasn't talked about. It was kind of like taboo, and it was very open out in like the 70s and stuff like that during like the coke and clubbing era, but and the disco era. Yeah, the party era, but like it was never like a mainstream thing. It was always just, underground type of stuff. Obviously, Nintendo has a demographic that is aging into this realm where this stuff is going to be common, and Nintendo, being the smart company that they are, they want to continue to nurture that fan base, because then that fan base has children, and then they pass it on to them, and their culture thrives and it lives.
People keep playing Nintendo games.
Nintendo's not going anywhere. They're not going away, but they definitely have to adapt to this culture.
They do.
They have to adapt to this corporate culture that we're now seeing. Like Microsoft's already done it. I don't know how Sony is about it, but Microsoft's clearly made it clear that, with their Pride support and all that kind of stuff and their initiatives, that they are.
I like that Pride controller as well with Microsoft.
I wanted to buy one, but I just didn't think it wasn't in my budget for the month, Yeah. I wanted to get one, but I definitely, support the concept. I think people should be comfortable with who they marry, and they should be comfortable with themselves. And you definitely shouldn't feel any kind of ridicule from your workplace. That's a for sure thing. So good on Nintendo. I support the initiative. I'm glad they're taking some kind of sense. How that affects them with the government, who knows what kind of Pandora's box that's going to open. But yeah, this is definitely a shifting culture where, their employees are reaching an age range where this stuff is common, so they need to adapt and acknowledge that type of stuff. And, hopefully it festers out to the rest of, the companies. Hopefully a Sony and all of them jump on board. And like I said, I don't know their policies, but I'm hoping, it spreads out to other companies like that. Because, it's one of those things where it's like, I just look at it and I was like, I just simply don't care. That's your husband, that's your wife, that's your partner. Good for you. I'm glad you're happy, and, I'm glad you have a healthy marriage. That's all that matters.
Yeah, that's all that matters. Absolutely.
It's just so funny how, like, none of this stuff affects me. I don't know, like, where people are trying to, like, put it in my face where, like, I can't I shouldn't be supporting. It's like, it doesn't affect me. Like, what do I care? It's just, it's so weird to me, but good on Nintendo.
Yeah.
Last article here of the day. This comes out of GameIndustry.biz. Sony's purchase of Bungie has been finalized.
There we are. They officially own Bungie.
They own Bungie. So
Microsoft is crying right now.
Nah, I think they're fine.
Oh, they're fine. They've got like
fine. Remember they spent 69 billion. Remember, no company, no article wanted to do the number 69. It was always like 70 or 65, like.
But everyone else truly knew it was 69.
69. No one wanted to print 69 billion or whatever. And I think Microsoft's fine. You know, they own
Microsoft
the biggest
knew
franchise.
exactly what they were doing there.
They own the biggest franchise they own two of the biggest franchises in the world right now.
Oh God.
Sony Interactive has announced its acquisition of Destiny maker Bungie has completed. Merger deal completed for $3.6 billion. That seems so cheap to me.
It does. Like, I mean, how big's the Halo franchise?
Pretty big. They got that whole TV show on Paramount and all that stuff now. So there's
And
definitely
Bungie works
money
on
there.
from Halo 1 to Halo Reach. So that was like the 4 different titles right there.
Yeah. And obviously the bread and butter is Destiny.
Mm-hmm.
We will remain... Okay, so here's Bungie's statement. We will remain in charge of our Destiny. We will continue to independently publish and creatively develop our own games, the studio said. So they're saying they're going to work autonomously, and then Sony just collects the paycheck.
Sony will be like, hey, can you make this for us? And we're like, yeah sure.
We'll continue to drive one unified Bungie community. Our games will continue to be where our community is and whatever they choose to play. In addition to Bungie closing the deal this week, saw Haven Studios lead become part of PlayStation. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We're making it exclusive for PS5. It is a live service game, so we have an additional challenge of how to wait. This is the biggest, I think this is the big flag in this whole thing, is that Sony obviously wants their own Apex. Mm-hmm. They want their own Apex. They want their own Warzone.
They want their own multiplayer title that will bring people in and spend their money.
They need their own live service game. And you know what? I'll be downright honest with you. Bungie's the company to do it.
It is true, yeah. They've had the years of experience there with Destiny.
That's all Destiny's been.
Yeah.
You know, I stopped playing
They
Destiny.
built an entire community from that game as well, so yeah.
I stopped playing Destiny because I felt like there was you go in there and it's just a vomit of things to do.
Yeah, with Destiny, you need to, if you want to go into Destiny, you need to go in it with someone who knows the Destiny world. You can't just go in it blind completely. You gotta know someone.
Because you have your weeklies, you have your dailies, you have this, that, this, and this, and you don't even know what the story content is. And then what sucks is you can't even do half the story content because it's been removed.
And then the story content, they keep charging more and more as well for each of the story content expansions they come out with as well. So they're I'm not even sure. Although on Steam, the base game and the first year content is free, so you can play that for free at any point.
Let's take a look.
And then anything after that, you have to purchase.
Let me look at Destiny. I'm looking at Destiny on Steam right now. So Destiny 2. Okay. Destiny 2 is obviously in my library. Okay, so Destiny 2 is free to play. The latest expansion.
Yeah, the Witch Queen.
The Witch Queen right now is base price is $39.
Yeah.
So what does the free to play actually consist of?
It's the base game and the first year's content, which is the Osiris DLC and what was the other one?
Was it Morrowind or no? Not Morrowind or
no, Morrowind is Skyrim. Elder Scrolls is.
They're all the same sounding.
They're all the same.
Oh, is it Forsaken? I think it was.
Yes.
Okay.
It could be Forsaken.
See, there's so much of this stuff I don't even know.
Forsaken was the one right after. I was in the second year. Hang on a bit.
It's gonna bug us, so we're gonna look it up.
Destiny 2. Steam.
Oh my god.
2.
Shadow Key. Oh no, Shadow Key.
I'm on Bungie.net here, so help me.
That's the funny thing about it.
Forsaken. God, there's been so much content, it's hard to actually know.
I think it's Forsaken and then Shadow Key.
No, Warmind. That's
Warmind.
So
that's
Curse
the
of
one.
Osiris and Warmind. So you get the base.
I wasn't
game
that
plus
far
the
off.
two ones.
I said what? Morrowind. Morrowind kind of sounds like it.
After that, you have to purchase. So Forsaken, Shadowkeep, Beyond Light, the Witch Queen, and then they've got 2 more. They've also announced 2: Lightfall and the Final Shape.
I hope the Final Shape is the final game, and then they go to 3.
I think that's what. I think that's what they're working up towards. I think the Final Shape is the end of Destiny 2, the full-on end game.
I think if quote unquote when Destiny 3 comes, if it's Destiny 3, that's when I'll jump back in and start fresh again because there's just too much to
I'm
do.
fully expecting to Destiny 3 BDD to be like Destiny Back to the Future or something, and we're going, oh, Back to the Future.
Man, it's so much content. I'm curious to see what they're going to do for Sony. I wouldn't mind a Bungie-based Sony Live thing.
I would try that. I would see what it looks like. I'd definitely try it in like betas and stuff. You know,
you think they're going to do it? You think they're going to put it on PC? They're jumping into that boat.
Maybe they'll do it after like 2 years because lately that's what they've been doing. Like they do like an exclusive, then 2 years later it comes out on like PC. The latest one they announced for that was Marvel Spider-Man because that was like on
2-3 years old.
That was about 4 years old. That game.
Yeah. So
like, nearly.
But see, that's interesting is because The Last of Us remaster or whatever is coming to PC too.
Well, The Last of Us Part 1 is what it's called, and it's the remake. Oh, well, is it really a remake?
I hope it's getting the Final Fantasy VII treatment.
Yeah. It's like... I've had this discussion with my friend Kitty. Because I said it was a remake, but he disagreed with that. He said it was more of a recoding of the game because it's basically the original game put through the new engine that was used for The Last of Us Part 2, on like all updated and everything graphically wise. We don't know what else has been added. Hopefully some like, friendly things that can, but from the second game that we put in the first game. I'm hoping they'll make it.
Supposedly things like I forgot what mechanic was it, the crawl or something like that. Supposedly the mechanics are coming into the first
crawl
game.
mechanic will be quite nice. Accessibility as well, because one thing I will know about The Last of Us Part 2, the accessibility factor was fantastic. It was really well done, that. So hopefully they'll make it really accessible for a lot of players.
That's one of my top 5 of all time, if you didn't know. The Last of Us, I think, is just a masterpiece of gaming.
It's a very good game. So here we're going to go back onto the topic we talked about earlier. I don't think it's worth the $70 price tag that they're going to put on it.
Right, no. But I'm going to buy it.
I will probably wait for it. Here's another thing also. I own the remastered on PS4 digitally. I own it. So, Naughty Dog, are you going to make me buy the entire game again? Or are you going to give me the free upgrade or purchase a fee upgrade to the remake?
No, they're going to make you buy the whole thing.
Of course they are.
This is their bread and butter now. The Last of Us is their bread and butter. This is the God of War. This is The Last of Us. These are the bread and butter. And they're going to be like...
It's just that I don't agree with the fact that I have to spend $70 on basically an 8-9-year-old game at this point. Sure you've made it look nice, but make it $40 or $50, and also offer a free upgrade or put a fee upgrade for people who have already owned the game from PS4, PS3 era. PS4 probably primarily.
She's like that hot girl in high school that you were always nice to, and it's not gonna work, but she does you dirty anyway. But you keep coming back for more. That's The Last of Us.
Yeah, but I'm just the person who's just no, I'm not coming back. Fuck off.
Put her in her place. Still, put her in her place.
I'll probably just, if I have to purchase it again, I'll probably just wait until it's on sale, because it'll probably go on sale within 6 months.
This is coming from the guy who keeps shelling out $100 to catch furry monsters and Pokeballs.
Shut up.
I don't think it's worth it. Don't charge me.
I'm biased to Pokemon. When it comes to Naughty Dog, yes, I do like Naughty Dog as a company because they made the Uncharted series, and Uncharted series is one of my all-time favorite series. I think The Last of Us is fantastic.
This is why I love you. You walked right into that one.
Yeah.
You walked.
I think The Last of Us is fantastic. I just I don't see it being worth $70 for an 8
It's too soon. Game. I agree with you. It's way too soon to do it. Give it another 5 years,
if they get another 5 years, maybe even on the 50th anniversary, that would be a good excuse. Or they could have waited to the 10th anniversary as well, actually. Why didn't they wait till the 10th anniversary of the game?
Because it's a cash cow and people are like,
I know,
idiots like me are
it
going
is.
to buy it.
Because they're trying to farm some more money because Neil Druckmann announced they're also working on a multiplayer Last of Us game. And also, he didn't really announce it, but he has said he's working on a new IP.
I'm going to look at it this way. I'm going to think it's kind of a smart move. From a Sony business move, it's kind of smart because remember, they also have that TV show coming.
Yeah.
If it's
I'm
so let's
looking forward.
let's
I'm
take a look
looking
at the
forward to
Walking before we wind down here or wind out of here. Let's look at the Walking Dead scenario. The Walking Dead blew up, right?
Yes.
And then people went and bought the comics. They went and repressed all the comics, DVD packages, all this kind of stuff. Walking Dead video game, everything was zombies for a decade.
Mm-hmm.
The Last of Us, let's assume The Last of Us does become the hit. People that have never touched The Last of Us before that
this is the thing, yeah.
Yeah, they probably never played a video game, They're watching HBO, they're like, wow, this game's amazing. Or this movie show or whatever.
Series is amazing.
Yeah. Let me go see if this is a video. They're going to find out it's a video game, and then Sony's going to want people to play the definitive version of that
and then
game.
that's when they're going to start making their money even further with Naughty Dog and Sony. Like, they're going to, cash it in straight away. They'll probably do merchandise, and then they'll probably do,
oh, yeah.
comics, maybe. They'll probably
there's already Last of Us pops and stuff like that. There's already Last of Us comic books.
Yeah.
But it's gonna happen. There's a Walking Dead Clementine comic they just released.
I did not know that.
Yeah, it just came out. I was like, I picked up the sample on Free Comic Book Day, and then it's a graphic novel, so it's got Clem in a comic book for Walking Dead. But yeah,
I still need to play the final season for that as well.
I don't know if I remember I played it. That was one I got lost on too, where I was like, where do I stop? Where did I stop? I don't remember. Yeah. But
also gotta point out my own hypocrisy by the fact that I've said that about The Last of Us, and yet Marvel Spider-Man comes out on PC next month, and I'm probably gonna buy it.
It's okay. Like I said, you spend $100 every couple years on catching furry monsters.
I mean, here's the thing though. At least I buy games in moderation because I actually haven't bought many games lately. A lot of them have been gifted to me for my birthday and Christmas. I did buy a few things on the Steam sale, but only for small games that
a lot of the indie stuff. I've been looking at more of the cheaper indie stuff. I want to play The Quarry so bad, but I'm like, do I need to spend the money to play The Quarry right now? I loved Until Dawn. I loved Until Dawn, but do I need to play it, or do I need to pay this now? But we'll see what happens.
I'm planning also in September. I'm planning on actually utilizing my Xbox Game Pass for once, and I'm gonna go on the store and just play nothing but Xbox Game Pass games for the entire month of September, just to see what's on there.
There's a lot of good. The console side of it is really good. There's a lot of good stuff on the console side. One I hear that you'll probably like, and it seems to be really good, is Tunic.
I've heard good things about
Tunic.
That,
looks amazing. It looks like Link's Awakening meets Dark Souls.
It's very Link's Awakening, yeah.
But it's basically Dark Souls-esque, where you go and you keep repeating until you beat it.
Yeah. So.
Well, on that note, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna wind down here. Dill, welcome. We appreciate you having here. We hope to see you on more pods. You are a very, very knowledgeable human being. I make dumb decisions, but
I make dumb decisions all the time. What else do you have to say?
It is late on your side of the pond, so
11:30, yeah, so it's getting there.
So yeah, we hope to
as well, so fun.
What time do you go in?
12:30.
Oh, okay, it's not terrible.
I got not terrible.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate you being here. We hope to have you on more pods. We'll definitely see you on more Good People content. So
yes.
If you've been listening on Apple, Spotify, all that good stuff, thank you for hanging out with us. If you're watching us on Twitch,
hi,
we appreciate you. And if you are going to find this on YouTube, we appreciate that also. Thank you for hanging out with us. I am Eric Anthony. You've been hanging out with Big Dill and myself.
Hello.
You can catch Dill on, it's Big Dill Gamer on Twitch.
Yeah.
It's one L, right?
twitch.tv/Big Dill Gamer.
Is it one L or two? One L.
Just
okay.
one L.
Big Dill Gamer.
Yeah.
I'll put that link in the chat here for you.
Go for it. And then from there you can find all my other content stuff as well.
There you go. Yeah, Twitter, Instagram, all that stuff's the same, right?
Yeah, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Not though. YouTube's just Big Deal, not Gamer.
YouTube, Big Deal.
Bum bum bum.
I got a big deal.
Every time.
Every time. All right, Dill. We'll see you guys soon. Thank you, everyone, for hanging out with us. We appreciate you. You all have a great evening, and we'll check you out soon.
Bye.